begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
nerves of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
muscle of iron, bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Mlbb x AES Campus Tournament. Today we have the semi-finals between Montgomery College and Penn State happening just right now, and also Nova, which is Northern Virginia Community College versus Texas AMU. They are competing for a regional final prize pool of $1,000, and there will be a grand final soon after that. This tournament is going to be sponsored by Oneplus. Get ready for an extraordinary experience with Oneplus. Join us on January 23rd for an exclusive event that promises innovation, excitement, and edge-cutting technology. As an official sponsor, Oneplus is gearing up to unveil the next level of devices that will refine your digital world, mark your calendars, and be part of the future. Elevate your tech game with Oneplus on January 23rd, where innovate meets excellence. And also by China Southern Airlines. Fly with China Southern Airlines, the leading airport transportation service affiliated with China Southern Airlines Holding Company. We boast the most extensive route network and largest passenger carry in China. Our goal is to be a globally renowned airline offering reliable, punctual, and convenient services. Explore our North American routes like LAX to Canada, JFK to Canada, featuring advanced 777-300ER aircraft for a comfortable and entertaining travel experience. Join us as we soar to new heights, providing top-notch service at every opportunity. And guys, we are going into the draft, and today on the casting desk we have MLSA founder, NACT caster, Steph Wheezy. Welcome, my man. How are you doing?
Now, yesterday was pretty hectic, right? We had a lot of teams competing in that single round robin. And as we're moving forward today, we're going to see the regional finals and the semifinals on the way. First, Montgomery College up against Penn State.
Yep.
Now, this is going to be spicy, right? This is the first time that we've really got to kind of do this thing for North America, right? To see colleges go up against each other, man. This is an exciting time for North America. But nonetheless, as we are going into the draft, you are going to see Montgomery banning that Diggy out and also going in for that Guinevere.
Yeah, so we actually haven't been able to see this Diggy in action in this whole entire tournament. It's quite interesting for me, since supports were not really, that aggressive in terms of, being picked up so extremely early. And Diggy is one of those picks where there's actually a lot of counters to go against it, but a lot of the teams, they just rather not deal with the annoyance of that hero. And Barats, we've seen that hero time and time again throughout this tournament. It's been extremely dominant, had the recent buffs, but the bans are set on the table. The Guinevere, the Nolan 1-1, and also the Lunox.
Right, and as we are seeing it finalized for the first half of the ban phase, there goes that Mathilda, going to provide a lot of mobility and sustainability for the side of Montgomery. We know Mathilda's been a little bit of a secret weapon, a saving grace when it comes to those spicy engagements, and they're going to lock in that support nice and early. Yeah,
they're definitely going to lock it in. Mathilda has been banned out quite a bit in pretty much every single match so far, especially in the round robins that we had yesterday. But there's still a lot available, right? When we talk about Mathilda, we always try to trade that hero out with something like an Angela. And, with the Angela being available, there is a lot of heroes that pair quite well with it. You could go with something like the Margus, the Alice, that has been quite well known, but it seems like they're going to be hovering a few other heroes here.
Yeah, and speaking of other heroes, not wasting really that much time, Penn State is going to go in for that R-Lot. You are going to go ahead and see that Valentina on top of that IMU to be able to steal pretty much any ultimate and use it against them. This is going to force Montgomery in a position where they have to kind of draft for ultimates that don't really work in Valentina's favor or overwhelm the Valentina with a majority of ultimates. But there you go. Nana has been selected, and looks like they are going to go in for their gold lane.
It's quite interesting that we're getting this Nana in action so much recently. I believe either she had received a buff or, her AP ratios are just quite good right now. But, we've seen the Nana being first pick prioritized in a lot of the drafts before. I like that change. Nana is one of those heroes that provide a lot of support, but recently it feels like the damage does quite well. And the response from Yikes, we actually didn't get to see this player play on Montgomery College yesterday, but today we get to see him in action. I believe it is a professional player from a different game. And, you know, being on one of the high mechanic heroes carry this time around, you're definitely going to see him shred a lot of the front lines.
Yeah, and speaking of front lines, Superasu over there from Penn State is going to go ahead and pick up that Akai. Maybe in the roam position, maybe in the jungle, time will tell. But you do see it being a possible answer to kind of keep Montgomery at bay from the neutral objectives. But you just mentioned it, right? They have the carry who can kind of burst down the beefier composition. So he will have to watch out for that. Now, when I'm looking at Montgomery, right? Yes, they have sustainability, they have magic damage, and they have burst, but they don't have a strong frontline presence. So maybe as we kind of round up this draft, they go in for more of a little bit of a frontline fighter or a sustainable jungle. But speaking of junglers, 3000 Worlds himself, Mr. Marks, has been banned out by Penn State.
Yeah, Martis, you know, can immune the CC that comes from the heavy spin out from the Akai, and I do think that is a good response to kind of defend and negate some of that opportunity there. And you get to see this Brody being banned out, but both teams, they are still, I mean, not both teams, for the side of Penn State, they are still looking for that marksman. Bruno is one of those picks that have been quite well known in, you know, any of these events. So the Bruno, the Claude is still available. Banning out the Brody kind of means that they want to secure, Yikes, a much better early game to deal with it, because quite honestly, a lot of teams, they love to pick the Brody to go against that late game shredder.
Yeah, and you know, looking at the side of Montgomery College, right? They have the Mathilda and they have the carry, and I kind of feel like they did this on purpose, right? One of the few things that carry kind of lacks on is the mobility. But when you pair it up with a support such as Mathilda, you can kind of dash away and pull carry with you to get them out of those tricky situations, and then stack it up with the Purify in case you do get stuck with some of that CC. Now, looking at Penn State, right? I'm liking the way the draft is going, but my question is going to be more for Hamsky on the Valentina. There's not really too many ultimates he's going to really profit from. Yes, he can grab Nana, the Melina Blitz, probably do a little bit of magic damage there, but outside of that, there's not really a star ultimate for him to profit on.
Yeah, that might be kind of what Montgomery is looking to run as a game plan, right? First pick Valentina, especially early on. You know, Valentina has still been one of the strongest mages, the highest priority picked mage in the game. So maybe they're coming out with a tactic to deal with the IMU. And I do think Nana, the ultimate, is still quite good, but it's not going to have that like huge AoE CC. Like we recently haven't seen a lot of Eves or the Farsa being out in play. Instead, we get this kind of mid support, this Nana power pick, but you know, coming out to the bans right now. The Export gets taken out from the draft along with the late game ability of that Claude. So it kind of pushes Penn State into, you know, a corner where they really only have something like a Bruno or a Beatrix to be able to do onto that gold lane.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say right there. It looks like they're trying to plan for the gold lane to thrive, limiting the gold lane options such as that Brody, such as that Claude, that can kind of go toe-to-toe with the carry and outshine in the early phase. Now, looking at the pickup, you are going to see that Thomas slotted in from Penn State. They are going more for frontline sustainability. Now, they do have the carry to work in Montgomery's favor, so if he can kind of rush in with the Speedy Light Wheels, will not have the hardest time against Super ACU and Vixie on that Thomas. But we still need to see a little bit of CC on Montgomery, right? There's not really anybody to kind of start the fight. This is just more of, hey, wait for the right opportunity and push in. But we need somebody who can kind of make that set happen. And as you are seeing them hover over the Dairoth, oh, there it goes. Maybe the Terizla may be the answer. That could be a wise decision. You know, you are seeing the Yuzong able to hover over and provide some additional CC on top of that. It looks like they're going to go for the double fighter composition to lock up their draft.
Yeah, you were kind of talking about how the Terizla could be a great front line, but that would kind of give the IMU a potential to take a decent ultimate. So I think they decided to go against it. Picking up this Yuzong, I do believe it does decent in the lane. I haven't actually been able to see Mikasa on this Yuzong. He was playing an insane Lapu Lapu. I think grabbing up 2 MVPs during the 3 matches that we are actually watching him. So definitely Mikasa is something that we should watch out for. Now Dairoth, a little bit of an unconventional pick. It does give the opportunity for him to gank the Thomas with a lot of true damage and armor penetration early on to kind of shut down that lane. And maybe it's just good against a tank jungler, so definitely something that we have to watch out for. But for the side of Penn State, they finalized their draft with an Arytho, which is also late game marksman to deal with the late game potential of the carry.
That's right. And as we are slowly embarking into the Land of Dawn, the MLBB AES Campus Tournament, sponsored over there by Oneplus and China Southern Airlines. 5 seconds down. Here we go. 2 teams fighting it out, representing their colleges. Who will be able to prevail forward? Now, I will say, looking at both of these drafts, I'm a little bit more in favor for Montgomery, just based off what the composition offers. But I'll be kind of paying attention to Penn State. My eyes are really going to be on this Dairoth in the jungle, right? Yes, he can kind of burst down the beefier composition. He can rush in with the Abysm Strike and catch him off guard, but it's definitely maybe a challenge, and it's going to take some high IQ.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be taking some high IQ. You know, both of these teams, they're really looking to try to go into that late game. You have the carry in the gold lane, and you also have the Arytho going against her. So, you know, in terms of the marksmen, I'm kind of going to predict that it's going to be somewhat of a stalemate early on. They're both going to be trying to scale into the late game. You should see kind of the roams and the mages clearing that mid and hovering over into that late game, you know, potential lane.
And looking at what we're seeing so far, right? You've seen Yikes over there helping, trying to take down that blue buff to kind of keep Dairoth at a fast farm rotation, especially up against that Akai Super ACU over there. Now, like we mentioned in the draft, we don't really see too much of a set potential on the side for Montgomery College. So they're definitely going to have some high target prioritization when it comes to these engagements and kind of focus on taking some of the members down and not really focusing on the sets because they don't really have it, right? Yes, you have Yuzong with Black Dragon, drop down with Fury's Dive for a little bit of a knockup, but it's not going to be enough. So they definitely have to kind of pick and choose their battles, especially in this first early phase. If not, you're going to see Super ACU, especially with the Akai, be able to use that heavy spin and have an easier time in those neutral objectives.
Yeah, I definitely agree, right? When it comes down to having not enough CC, you're kind of prying on the opponent's mistake to kind of overestimate their team fights. And I do believe that's the strategy that Montgomery is looking to put. Versus the other hand, Penn State, it's very tradition. You have the heavy spin to pin the opponents. You have the final slash, but bot side, a quick kill onto the Dairoth, we mentioned it earlier, able to have that penetration early on to kind of single out the XP lane and making sure that, you know, he's going to be falling early on in this game.
A good start for Montgomery over there, especially when we're talking about the Dairoth, can have a little bit of a slower time trying to get that jungle, trying to get that farm. But when you're in the XP lane, you have to expect that 2v1 to pop out of nowhere. Like you mentioned, the armor burster rushing in, that's all you really need. And Mikasa can kind of make the most out of the situation, and they were able to get that kill. But speaking of kills, there goes Black Dragon hovering around, is going to take down Hamsky. Valentina does fall for Pennsylvania State. You are going to see the 2v3 situation and the neutral objective now in Montgomery's favor.
Yeah, they were able to get that bush camp with the Petrify onto the Valentina, kind of catching off Hamsky's rotation onto the top side. And that's extremely smart coming out from Montgomery, but looking like Matilda might be caught in a small situation.
Yeah, it's going to be able to get out of there. Wait a minute. Final slash in. Speedy Light Wheels as well. R is going to circle around with that Eagle. Matilda Airlines still able to sustain himself, and that just shows you the power of the Matilda. I mean, look at that. Already back at almost half HP. But so far, only 3 minutes in, one turtle on the side of Montgomery, and another kill as Mikasa down to the bottom side takes down Hamsky.
Yeah, you can really tell that this Dairoth pick in the jungle is paying off, right? You know, when you pick something like a very damage focused heavy jungler and you're ganking onto that XP, typically you can't really burst something like a Thamus where he has a lot of HP and he has a lot of sustain. But topside,
ooh, big engagement, 4v1, heavy spin on the wall. Yikes, not able to get out of there. Vic Ski is going to go ahead and take him down. Now you are going to see R trying to hold him off, trying to maintain that lane. Oh. Yes, they lost one member, but they may be able to claim one of their own as Sayoi is going to take down Keepski. 2v3. Can they get another body? Yes, they do, as you are going to see Dairoth get a kill, takes down the goal laner. Vixky does fall. The Petrify The flicker out over there from Hamsky on the 1v4. Gonna try to recall to safety, but they know he's in the bush. Can he get away? Furious dive in. Speedy Light Wheels as well. Mikasa draws the kill with the Shadow Essence.
Yeah, it's actually kind of tough, right? The side of Penn State, they were able to kind of get that kill on early onto the top side. They grabbed up Yikes, but they were unable to kind of push and siege onto that lane versus the side of Montgomery. They were able to grab 3 to 4 of their members, even taking the XP lane from the boss side onto the top, kill 2 of the members, making this overall score 6-1 and a small slight gold push onto the top side, pushing them to a 2k advantage 4 minutes in.
Well, I'll tell you what, may be able to get another kill. Sayoi takes down Keepski in the battle for the turtle pit, and they do maintain that pressure. This may be the second turtle into the hands of Montgomery, yet again left unchecked from Pennsylvania State. I'll tell you what, UA, I think me and you need to get our jackets because there may be an avalanche on the way.
Yeah, we definitely have to be careful because it definitely looks like the snowball is going onto the side of Montgomery. And this is a team that has scored 7-0 in the best of one. And a top side Mikasa taking out another member, but completely undefeated, unscratched in the round robin earlier yesterday.
Unscratched, unscathed, unbothered. As you are looking at Mikasa 401 and Dairoth, killing spree activated, does take down Thomas on the bottom side. Not having the easiest game. Already found 3 deaths so far in the past 5 minutes. And this all started from the early rotations, right? We were looking at the draft and we were kind of questioning it, right? There's not a lot of CC, but hey, when they have target prioritization and they have a plan, it definitely can make the most out of the situation. And that is what happened, right? Dairoth already sitting 3-0-2 with that bottom gank to provide this opportunity. And now it's a 9-1 lead, and looks like they're going for more, as you are going to see Keepski now on the retreat, his team to back him up. But looks like Montgomery College is not letting their foot off the gas.
Yeah, it feels like their draft, especially in the early game with all the damage and the penetration, is really paying off. But mid, they're able to get the siege tower right away. But the Valentina,
does get hit, forced to flicker out through the orange buff. On his way back to the base, looks like he may be able to find his way to safety, but Keepski, Super ACU may not be the same situation, trying to fight it out, but they don't have the numbers, so he's going to take down Keepski. Black Dragon hovering around. Drama is going to find Super ACU. 2 members falling for Pennsylvania State University. 11-1 lead, Montgomery College on fire.
And look at the KDAs coming out from Montgomery, right? You got the 4-0-3 from both the XP and the junglers so far. Sayori also 3-4-0. So high kill participations across the board when we're looking at the mid, the jungle, and the XP. That kind of just plays into the favor earlier when I said we kind of have to watch out for Mikasa. He's been doing so extremely well in this tournament, and especially in this series. You know, we're only talking about the first game, but he is definitely on fire.
Speaking of on fire, fire in the mid lane, as you are seeing a little bit of a siege for that tier 2 turret and some ground control for Montgomery, but Pennsylvania State not going to give it to them with ease. They are giving them a little bit of pushback, but hey, they got to pull their punches, right? They're already down by 10 kills and down by 8,000 gold. Right now, they got to play safe, but they got to watch out because the later this game goes, Yikes will have way more damage. But did you see that over there? Drama, once all the smoke, almost takes down Super ACU, forcing his way back to the base. Keepski with the final slash in his turret, trying to deal some damage, trying to hold Montgomery off from taking that tier 2 turret, circling Eagle around. Nana is going to be able to get out of there, but Drama takes down Keepski on the aggressive push and still forces Pennsylvania State back to their base.
And the only thing that they were able to get out of that whole entire team fight was Nana's passive, which, you know, kind of gives her another health, kind of like an immortality. And that's really not a good trade coming out from the side of Penn State. Right now, they really have to find a way to shut down the members of Montgomery. So, for example, there's a lot of gold onto that Dairoth, but they're going in. Black Dragon.
They are going in for that tier 2. Yikes is going to go ahead and take one down. Drama is going to find Keepski. Big set. Vixie trying to get away. Mikasa is going to take down Hamsky and get Vixie for the double kill. That's going to only leave Super ACU and Thomas by themselves against the full 5-man team, pushing through not only the top lane, but the mid as well. Tier 2 does fall. Can they crack open the inhibitors?
Yeah, they're definitely trying to. 15-1 is going to be the overall scoreboard. 9 minutes in, and they're heading straight into the base.
Ooh, speaking of into the base, into Super ACU, he does fall. Yet another kill for Mikasa, 6-0-4. The monstrosity tier or inhibitor turret on the top side, falling low. Drama is going to find another, is going to go ahead and take down Vitski. Yikes is going to find the inhibitor in the process. Drama with the triple, though, gets Keepski. So rushing in, the maniac from Drama on the Daira. On fire so far, 19-1 lead. They may be able to close this out. They have the numbers and they have the minions marching on the top side. But wait a minute, Super ACU back in action, trying to clear it up. Black Dragon chasing down Hamsky. 3v1 situation, not where you want to be, and he is going to fall. Now a 20-1 stretch so far for Montgomery College.
Yeah, an 11-1 performance for the K-drama addict himself, Tamaya. Able to take care of business here. I was kind of, hesitant on picking a Dairoth, but ooh, another small snipe coming out from BX, picking up that Arlot. And man, this carry definitely moving quickly.
Yeah, moving quickly, and this game going quickly. We're not even 10 minutes in, and they're trying to close it out. Heavy spin from Super ACU, trying to hold them off. All inhibitors have fallen, and now it's looking like Pennsylvania State has their backs against the wall with only their base crystal to sustain them, trying to hold off Montgomery for closing this out. The Arkansas Drama with the legendary kill is going to take down one. Yet another Black Dragon hovering around with Furious Dive. But yikes, with Speedy Light Wheels is going to take Hamsky. Black Dragon still active. Going to drop down at the right time. There it goes. Mikasa is going to find Keepski. Sayoi cleaning up Vixie. Leaving Super ACU back in the base. And look at the crystal. That is all she wrote as Montgomery College claims game one in our first best of three for the semifinals.
Oh, exciting match coming through. Montgomery College able to take this series 25-1. A perfect game for multiple members on their side. 10-minute match. And we talked about Mikasa being kind of the player that is in the spotlight, and he prevails again. 7-0-12 is his score, but following shortly behind is the K-drama addict, the first maniac of our tournament, 12-0-4. But perfect scores across the board. Talk a little bit about the statistics coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, we got to give credit to R as well, right? He didn't get any kills. I mean, he's the support. Man had 20 assists so far, sitting with that gold medal. Team fight participation stacked at the 80% highest for his team. They were just all over the board. I really loved the rotation from Montgomery in the beginning. It opened up with K-drama on the Dairoth, rotating onto the XP lane instead of going for the gold, which most teams kind of try and predict. But when you go to the XP lane, when you're on the opposing side, you have to play safer. We seen him kind of stack a couple of kills down there in the 2v1 situation, and that led to them taking the first neutral objective. And after that, it was just checking everything off the list, and a clean game so far from Montgomery College. Number one game, first game today for the semifinals. Man, don't know what to expect. And we saw a maniac. Maybe the next game's a savage, but hey, I'm still rooting for Texas A&M. They got to definitely show out a little bit more, play a little bit safer, and maybe we'll see another story.
Yeah, well, guys, we're going to be right back after a 2-minute break, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
All right, everyone, welcome back. It seems like I need to change a little bit of the overlay, but we do have Penn State versus Montgomery College. Montgomery went pretty deep on that last game. 25-1 is the overall scoreboard for that last game. Only a 10-minute game, so they definitely was able to get that sweep. So we're kind of looking to see if Penn State can recover from that loss. And the sponsor of our tournaments is China Southern Airlines. Make sure to come visit their website, csair.com/US. They're one of the largest passenger capacity in China, and they have a lot of American routes from LAX to Canada, JFK to Canada, and it features a comfortable and entertaining travel experience. Also, our second sponsor is going to be Oneplus. Get ready for an extraordinary experience and mark your calendars and be a part of the future. Elevate your tech game with Oneplus on January 23rd, where innovation meets excellence. And Wheezy, man, that was one of the cleanest games I've seen so far. And, you know, Montgomery College, their experience is definitely showing here.
Yeah, experience definitely showing there. I wouldn't be surprised if the full team is playing with all Oneplus phones on their side with that smooth performance. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went to the base crystal on China Southern Airlines on top of that. But as we are now jumping into the draft, we are seeing the first half be finalized. The Diggy, again, like you stated, hasn't been picked up so far. It's always been banned. The 1-1 on top of that and the Phobius combination. Now, we got to see some things change for Penn State,
Of
right?
course.
The last game didn't really work that well in their favor. And I wouldn't say it was just one thing. Overall, it was just a bunch of little things that kind of added up for them. So jumping into this game, what I would expect to see is kind of playing into the draft that you have. They had the sustainability, they had the frontline presence, which means they could play a little bit safer, right? Wait for Montgomery to be aggressive and punish them, but don't be too aggressive because you know they have a little bit more of the early game damage, especially when they had that die rock. So jumping into this match, I wouldn't even say it was really a battle of drafting. I think it was just a battle of execution and focusing on the objectives that mattered for each phase of the game. So Penn State, they got first pick so far, so it's going to be slightly different than the first match when Montgomery was leading the way, and they are going to go ahead and slot up this Lapu Lapu.
I want to disagree. The fact is, Montgomery College, they picked up the Matilda so extremely early in the last match, went 0 deaths, and the impact was quite significant, right? And when you talked about kind of the strategies and not the draft, I felt like the draft was pretty good coming out from Penn State. And you mentioned the execution coming out from that team. It felt like they were lacking a little bit of, you know, playing it safe and not being able to get picked off early onto the XP. So definitely looking at Hemsky, you know, if he's on this Lapu Lapu, make sure he's not getting picked off compared to that Thomas in the last game. Now, secondly, they also, from Montgomery College, was able to siege onto the top side after they were able to get a kill or two, pushing the lead, versus on the other hand, Penn State, when they grabbed up that very first kill, when the Akai chose to use the heavy spin onto the top side, ganking behind the tower. The side of Penn, they just were not able to push that lead ahead and siege onto that base, siege onto that outer tower. So I feel like that's something Penn State has to find a way to, you know, gather all the members, create a siege, take a tower early on, especially if they are using a lot of spells. Now, looking at the draft, the Barats that was banned out in the last game does get picked up this time around, and Barats Matilda has been one of those, you know, strongest combinations in the game, especially when we're talking about like the blacklist meta back in the days.
Speaking of meta, this is definitely interesting so far for Penn State, right? They're winning for the Joy, they win for the Harith, and they have the Lapu Lapu. Again, not a heavy CC-oriented composition, but last time they had a lot of CC. This time it looks like they're going a little bit more aggressive. You have the Lapu Lapu who's kind of a jack of all trades, so it's still work in his favor. He can get a little bit of that stun. But a similar story from the draft for the side of Montgomery. Last time you see the Akai, this time you see the Barats, but it's still the same kind of presence on what they offer in the jungle, right? Sustainability and a strong frontline presence. And then stacked up yet again with that Matilda, who you mentioned you kind of disagreed with. Penn State letting that walk, especially when it was a 0-0 and 20 assists in the last game. And then Yikes again getting on what he's comfortable with, that carry, and Penn State could have avoided that. So now there's still marksmans on the table that are going to possibly be banned out. You know, the Brody, we've seen it banned out. We've seen the Claude banned out as well, but there's still available options for Penn State since they decided to ban out that TIG for Montgomery.
Yeah, and it's a little bit risky coming out from Penn State right now. They pick up the Harith, which traditionally plays into that gold lane. If not, probably into the jungle, but it doesn't seem like there's any retribution spells on this side of Penn. It might be a kind of like a mind game, but all these three heroes, the Lapu Lapu, the Joy, both of them can go into that XP. You could also have the Joy in the jungle or also the Harith. But one thing is for sure, Penn State is lacking a lot of physical damage. Lapu Lapu is traditionally one of those heroes where they pick up one or maybe a Malefic Roar later on to as the physical damage, and the rest is usually something like a Dominant Ice, a Radiant, a Athena Shield. So Penn State is definitely lacking a lot on the physical side, but Montgomery, they're not pushing that physical ban. Instead, they're looking to deny a lot of these roam picks. I think it's pretty smart since, you know, on the side of Montgomery, they already had the Matilda, but a lot is still available. The Estes, the Angela, the Florin, right? Those do not provide a lot of CC, but definitely provide a lot of utility. On the other hand, Penn State choosing to ban out that Nana. I like it, but now we have to be careful at the Valentina because that is going to be available here.
Yeah, still haven't seen the mid lane picked up from Montgomery. It can be a definite option. Thomas has been banned out for the side of Penn State, trying to limit the XP lane. They are going to be going up against that Lapu Lapu, so it looks like they're trying to get their XP laner a little bit more comfortable. But speaking of picks, they are going to go in for some more sustainability on the side of Montgomery, picking up, they have the double support meta now. Walking. When you're looking at Penn State, though, the X-Borg has been slotted in. It is going to be the jungler, which is going to confirm this Harith being in the gold lane. Now, I don't really mind the Harith too much in the gold lane. I mean, when you kind of rewind time, it has been known to work, especially against the carry, when executed right and when you're playing a little patient in your lane. But again, we're talking about the gold lane and the XP lane for Penn State. Last game, they were a little too aggressive on both sides. So hopefully this time around, they can just be a little bit more aware of who's in those side bushes.
Yeah, and you know, Sayori picking up this Faramis, I was able to actually witness her Faramis yesterday, and she was able to grab up the MVP with like 34% damage. So this is someone that we have to watch out for. Now, this draft has been secure for both teams. Penn State did opt to pick up for that X-Borg and Grok, which does quite well against the Brats and also the carry. And, you know, Grok also has that wild charge to be able to sun up some of the opponents. So we're definitely going to see him in action here. But Mikasa, let me tell you about this guy. He has been known to be this Freya menace from back in the days, and to be able to see him on his bread and butter, Weezy, we are in for a treat in this game too.
Definitely in for a treat as we are seeing both teams rev up, getting ready on their China Southern Airlines flight into the land of Dawn on their Oneplus phones. As we are getting ready to see them go head to head. Keep in mind, this is a best of 3. This is the semifinals for the Mlbb X AES Campus Tournament, and it is 1-0. This is match point. If Montgomery can find victory here, they will move forward to the finals. But if Pennsylvania State can get their act together and take advantage of the early game, we may be able to see them even out this series.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a chance to be able to see them even out this series here. But now a traditional start coming in from both teams. Both junglers choosing to opt to go into that XP lane early on in their rotation. We're definitely going to be seeing some skirmishes happening onto the top side real soon. But a small invade happening. We saw Art do this last time around. He's just, you know, being extremely annoying, forcing that early retribution out once again.
Yeah, trying to make the most out of the situation. Every second matters. And R not only wasting that retribution, but also wasting a lot of skills and time over there from Pennsylvania State, focusing more on him than their neutral objectives and their farm inside of their jungle, which will kind of put prioritization on rotations in Montgomery's favor. Look at it again, harassing and the invade onto the purple buff. Looks like they may be able to get it, and now the battle on the way. I can't really see. It looks like he did get it. He was able to deny Super ACU's purple buff. Mission accomplished so far for Montgomery College, off to a great start.
And that was honestly led to R on this Matilda, right? He was using that first and second skill to forced the retribution coming out from the side of ACU early on, and that led to that blue buff steal for the side of the K-Drama Addicts. So a small gold lead already for the side of Montgomery College. They're definitely looking to push onto this bot side right away. And the Barats, man, we've seen it in action. It looks like he's coming in once again.
Yeah, definitely coming in once again for the siege on a Super ACU. Having a hard time rotating around and getting his farm, only sitting at level 2. And it looks like level 4 already from K-Drama, so he already has doubled his level so far in the jungle. But speaking of levels, looks like a stun on the way as K-Drama finds first blood, takes down Keemski. You're going to look at Montgomery not only still in a purple buff, but also taking first blood, and now maybe able to take that first neutral objective, especially with Super ACU not being level 4 already. But no, they're going to go in for the orange buff. Yet again, trying to deny more farm, are trying to get out of there, force the flicker, but the British Fighter Raging Slash on his tail. And Hamsky is going to hammer him down. You are going to look at a 1-for-1 so far on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and what's interesting is from the side of Penn State, they decided to put the Lapu Lapu onto the mid. This is not really a traditional way, but I understand what it's going for, right? They have the Grok and the Lapu to do a lot of clear, but
Yeah, skirmish on the way on the turtle, but you are going to see the turtle right there. Hamsky is going to take down Sawi. That is 2-1 so far. Pennsylvania State leading in kills. Mikasa evening it out, is going to take down Hamsky. But now the battle on the purple buff on the way. Super ACU yet again denied from his jungle. Circling Eagle in. K-Drama draws the kill. And they take the buff as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the scoreboard is actually quite relatively close, right? 2-3, 3 minutes in, but the gold lead is showing a complete different story. About a 2K gold lead on the side of Montgomery. And let's take a look at some of the items in the gold lead so far. What stands out the most is going to be that jungle. It's almost a 1K difference early on, 3 minutes in, and Super AC is not even level 4.
Yeah, not even level 4 yet. It's just been kind of the story for the early game so far for Pennsylvania State. Their jungler having a hard time getting online. The rotations from Montgomery College, very hard to kind of match up with. It all started with R on this Mathilda harassing on their buffs, opening up the opportunity to take the blue, and then also opening up the opportunity to draw the first blood kill. And yet again, they take an orange buff, and it just looks like a repeat of what we've seen so far. It is still 2-3, and they may be able to turn this back in their favor as you are going to see the Zombie Force drop down. Speedy Light Wheels in effect, and Hamsky is going to draw the kill, takes down Yikes on a 2v1 in the bot side.
That's good news for the side of Montgomery, right? They're able to actually get a kill, pushed onto a siege from that mid lane. And honestly, the Yikes, I felt like he just didn't really look at the map right there. He ended up using his second skill forward, and it got him caught in the position. And now his towers is going to be sieged and potentially fallen down. But for the side of Montgomery, they still have a lead. Look at this mid skirmish right now. Keeps actually able to get away, but the objective goes in the favor of Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery is going to be able to take that neutral objective. They are going to possibly be able to take this turret on the bottom side for Pennsylvania State. But now the counterplay over there from Montgomery, trying to punish Pennsylvania State from taking ground control on the bot side and maybe able to draw the kill. The recall back from Super ACU is able to get back to safety, and it looks like they're able to defend them from clearing out that tier 1 turret.
Yeah, the defend
mid lane, K-Drama, Hamsky falls, turret falls as well. Sayoe is gonna find Keepski. Mikasa wasting no time with the spray.
Oh my!
Taking the tier 1. Mikasa also gets a kill of his own. Is gonna take down the Joy.
And that's definitely one of the strongest Freyas that I've seen ever in North American history. Along with that collector skin, it's proven quite well onto that user there, but 5K gold lead, 5 minutes in. It is not looking so good for Penn State. They have to figure something out, especially to go against this Barats. They have the Xborg, which has the late game potential to be able to deal with a lot of that frontline presence, but he's just not fed.
Yeah, and speaking of fed, Super ACU being torn apart. The mega kill from K-Drama is going to take him down. Again, denying him from his jungle and leveling and scaling through this match. Hasn't had the easiest game. But we got to look at R, right? 0-1-6, just having a great time. The second showcase with this Mathilda today. I'm not even going to call it Circling Eagle no more. We're going to call it the China Southern Airlines every time it wraps around a hero for the set. And speaking of sets, the invasion yet again, purple buff falls into K-Drama's hands.
Yeah, the purple buff does end up going in the favor of Montgomery College as they steal away essentially every little bit, including that Oneplus device that the side of Penn State are using. The siege on the mid is happening.
Yeah, siege on the mid. Who will be able to win this clash? R is going to find Vitsky. Another kill. Mikasa takes down Hamsky. 2 members falling for the side of Pennsylvania State University. Still trying to hold them off. 4-man team still invading the chase on the Keepski, forcing out his conceal back to the base for some regen. And now K-Drama, wasting no time, is going to take the turtle. And we got to look at this Freya. Mikasa all over the map, just knocking out these turrets.
Yeah, and honestly, the gold lead is showing quite a bit. 5k to the 2.6k for the junglers. And you know, with all these team fights that are happening, no one is dying from the side of Montgomery. Everyone is alive and all well. Mikasa 3-0-2, 5 for the KDA and also for the K-Drama, but the last Insanity
does go in for the damage. AoE are very low. China Southern Airlines rotates around, connects. Destination does land. You are going to see the silence, a double silence on Sawi and R, but 2v1 on Yikes. Yikes will find Vixie. Super ACU trying to run away with the fire missile, but Mikasa rushing in like Superman, shuts him down. 2 members falling to the side of Pennsylvania State. As Mikasa gets another, is going to find Nietzsche, make that 3, and the tier 2 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, and they were honestly trying to body that tier 1, but they still had the explosion from the side of Penn State, able to clear away those lanes. So it's a little bit of luck in that sense. But now, without that explosion, the siege is going to happen. But the side of Montgomery, they still have to be a little bit careful, right? Penn State, they have all of what it takes, the damage, the sustainability to kind of defend these towers and turn these fights around. But from the side of Montgomery, as long as they're being careful and they're being disciplined, just like this, standing outside of the tower, not really trading too much health, they could definitely get a siege going, and the siege coming out from the top side.
Yeah, you're going to see that siege on the way. Mikasa takes the tier 2 for the top side. And now the engagement from both sides trying to deny Montgomery from entering onto these inhibitor turrets, but they are still applying that pressure. Now, I've seen a lot of matches like this where a team has the upper hand, but then they get a little too aggressive, and one slight mistake can be all that Pennsylvania State needs to turn this around. China Southern Airlines around with the Matilda, does connect. Mikasa with the kill, takes down Mitsuki, gets a double, takes down Super ACU. Will he get another? Sayoe is going to find Keepski, a triple from Mikasa, finds Hamski. It's only Vixki by himself against the full 5-man team of Montgomery College, trying to claim their way into the finals. Mikasa with legendary kill is going to find Vixki, a full wipeout. Montgomery leading the way. The Show Me State ahead of their time over there, clearing it out, clearing the full team, taking the inhibitors, and now for the base crystal. Super AC with the last Insanity in, though, is going to clear the minions, is going to be able to try and deny them from closing this game out. Yikes is going to take the inhibitor on the bottom side. There is still an inhibitor on the top lane as well. That's the only one standing, and Montgomery still in the base for Pennsylvania State. Doesn't look like they're going to pull those punches. Huge knockup over there. Yikes is going to find the last inhibitor. Saoi is going to find Keepski. Mikasa finds Hamski. Niski, Visky, and Super ACU by themselves against the full 5-man team of Montgomery. A double kill from Mikasa takes down Super ACU and Vixky and the base crystal. A 3 for none trade. Montgomery College moving forward into the finals.
Yeah, the Montgomery College dominance coming out in this game, and also the game before. There was nothing that Penn State could do to defend against, you know, the aggressiveness coming out from Montgomery College here. Mikasa taking 2 MVPs, 12-0-4, a similar KDA that he had in that last game, the Matilda, right? We talked about the Matilda not being first pick prioritized by Penn State was a mistake. It was indeed. 1-1-19 is going to be his score, racking up just as much damage and assists as Sayori here for 1-12 on this fair miss. A lot of superpower players on the side of Montgomery College, but 10 minutes game once again. 22-3 is going to be the scoreboard. Let's take a look at some of the statistics here.
Yeah, looking at the statistics, just a beautiful game overall for the Montgomery College are over there with that Mathilda yet again. Got to give the recognition and the credit where it's due. 91% team participation. We said, hey, it's not the Circling Eagle no more. It's the China Southern Airlines, the way he was flying around and landing on time, because that's what's important, right? And the full team running the Oneplus phones, the best in the world, to be able to claim that victory. And that definitely gave them that power spike that they needed all the way in the beginning at the drafting phase. So make sure you guys get your Oneplus as well. And if you are looking for a flight, go with China Southern Airlines on top of that. But Yue, we've got our first team making their way to the finals. A great start so far for today.
Yep. And guys, Montgomery College is going to be going into that regional finals, but we're going to be right back, right? We have Texas AMU versus Nova, and this is definitely going to be a match you don't want to miss, guys. We're going to be right back.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Welcome back, everyone, to the East Semi and Regional Finals for Mlbb X AES Campus Tournament. We already got to see the first game, Montgomery College versus Penn State, in a 20-minute fashion. Right, Montgomery was able to prevail in that series 2-0, moving on to that regional finals. That's going to be happening an hour from now. Now we have Nova, Northern Virginia Community College, versus Texas AMU, two of the strongest teams in this series, in this entire bracket. Right, Nova, I think, only had one game lost on to Montgomery College, and Texas only lost to Montgomery and Nova. So two strong powerhouses coming in. Let's talk a little bit about our sponsors right away. Oneplus, get ready for an extraordinary experience. Join us January 23rd for an exclusive event that promises innovation, excitement, and cutting-edge technology. As an official sponsor, Oneplus is gearing up to unveil the next level of devices that will redefine your digital world. Mark your calendars and be a part of the future. And fly with China Southern Airlines, the leading airline transportation service affiliated with China Southern Air Holding Company. We boast the most extensive route network and largest passenger capacity in China. Our goal is to be globally renowned airline offering reliable, punctual, and convenient services. Explore our American routes like LAX to Canada, JFK to Canada, featuring the advanced 777-300ER aircraft for a comfortable and entertaining travel experience. Join us as we soar to new heights, providing top-notch service at every opportunity. Back to the game. On the casting desk, we do have NACT MLSA founder Steph Weezy joining us on this desk. Two great teams, Weezy.
That's right. Two great teams. Join us as we soar to heights that we've never reached before. As we are looking at Nova up against Texas A&M. Now, these two teams have gone against each other, right? They faced each other and it didn't work in Texas A&M's favor. Nova was able to secure the victory. This is the best of three, though. This is the East semis, and we'll be able to see who can push forward for the regionals. Now, right now, Nova is first in the lead for the draft. You are looking at them locking in that carry. That is going to solidify that burst damage, especially against the beefier compositions. And speaking of beefier compositions, easy peasy and templess, wasting no time. A double combination of fighters, the R-Lot and you are going to see him lock in that jungler as well. I'm over here having a brain blast on the jungler for a second.
The Martis.
My favorite Martis. He's my favorite hero in the game too. But nonetheless, that will work in Grimm's favor, right? He has a speedy light wheels and he can potentially burst them down. But the Martis and the R-Lot can kind of work in favor too, because Martis provides the CC that R-Lot needs for those eyes to be able to get some additional dashes and damage in. So it's going to be an interesting match on our hands.
Yeah, and you know, easy peasy, this is a player that has been known to be so dominant in that jungle role, especially with a lot of the fighters. He was the first player in last year's NACT to be able to get that Savage. So definitely a player to watch out for. But Texas A&M responding with a fair miss and a Yuzong. Both of these heroes have been used. Actually, all of these heroes have been used time after time in a lot of the series, and these are definitely strong meta heroes. The Cold Ultra coming out from the Nether Realm, coming out from that fair miss, is going to kind of defend against you know, the ability to reset off kills from that Martis, and also the Black Dragon. You know, we all know about the team fight present that has, especially on the early neutral objectives. So expect this to be an absolute brawl on that first turtle. Bokarosco decides to lock into that Valentina. We've seen the Valentina coming through before. This time around, since it was picked in such a later stage, he's able to take great ultimates, especially that Nether Realm, to impact the team fight for the side of Nova.
Yeah, and not just any mage player, right? We're talking about Boca Roscoe. He's played in the NACTs with some of the top teams in North America, was with the Bloodhounds, and now playing with Nova banners behind them. It's going to be a problem. I like the Valentina pickup here. It definitely can have priority on the ultimates, especially with the Nether Realm, to kind of sustain your team in these engagements. And then when, you know, everything breaks loose and goes crazy, you can use the Black Dragon from Yuzong to hover around and provide some additional damage or a way of escaping the engagements to keep himself alive. So I will say that Valentina's a pretty solid pick in today's matchup. Now, looking at the bans, you are going to go ahead and see the Claude locked out over there for the side of Texas A&M. One more ban on the table. Nova, they still need their gold laner, and it looks like they still need their roam as well.
And you know, with the roam picks available on the board, the side of Nova, they could choose to slot that Arlott into that roam position. But one thing that is still on the table that we have not seen, the Diggy is available for both of these teams to be picked up. They ban out the Kufra, which is quite interesting because there's still a lot available, right? The Diggy, the Angela, the Estes, if they want to go for that support route, or if they want to go for maybe a front line like the Minotaur, the Tigreal, or even that Edith. So a lot is still available, but we are talking about Ooga Booga, and this guy has played in a lot of NACT. What I want to see is him picking up the Sandman, right? I don't even know his name at this point, but it's, you know, it's one of those fighter supports that deal a lot of damage, and Ooga Booga is definitely in his arsenal to pick up that type of hero.
Yeah, this is the same Ooga Booga that we've seen.
Yep.
He used to play in the gold lane, right?
The Hanabi.
No, the Hanabi. It was Hanabi in the gold lane back in the day. Man, he can definitely keep it interesting, and I'd love to see him kind of swap in different roles. Now, right now, you are looking at the Cho locked in for some single target CC and additional mobility. A little bit of a high skill hero for the side of Nova. And speaking of heroes, looks like a hover over the Tigreal and a possible pickup for the Fredrin for the side of Texas A&M. But there goes that Diggy you were talking about. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, wait, it really is a bird this time. Diggy has been locked in for Texas A&M.
It's a China Southern Airlines plane coming out from Afnan here. Going with that Diggy, traditionally Diggy against Chow, it is going to be absolutely terrible for Chow, but he also has that CC immune where he could kind of dash out of the lockdown that the Diggy has to provide. So there's definitely kind of some winning opportunity and losing opportunities for both of these supports, right? The Chow can single target with that little the way of the dragon to force that ultimate coming out from Diggy and also immune it. But Diggy can also immune all the CCs coming out from that. But the last pick, Kaze, has locked in that Melissa. Both drafts have been secured for both sides. Wheezy, what do you think about these drafts so far?
I think it's going to battle down to execution, and looking at Nova, they have a lot of players who we've seen at that upper caliber of Mobile Legends Bang Bang for North America, and I don't question if they'll be able to pull it off. But Texas A&M, this is a little bit more new names that I'm seeing. But you mentioned these are the two top teams so far for the Mlbb x AES campus tournament. So I expect nonetheless but greatness from both sides. Now, you mentioned the Diggy onto the Cho, right? Ooga Booga may have a little bit of a harder time, or maybe that's what he's going for, right? He knows he's single target CC. He can waste that time journey over there from Afnan and provide his team a potential setup. But time will tell, as we are now embarking in the land of Dawn. This is the East semis. Whoever wins the best of three will move forward into the regional finals to go up against Montgomery.
Yes, and the sponsors of today's show is going to be Oneplus and China Southern Airlines. Make sure to go visit the China Southern Airline website. It is going to be www.csair.com/US. Make sure to go over there, check out some of their flights. Definitely a great airline. Now, the Diggy already starting off with a 1-1-2 is quite standard to deny some of the gold, and he's definitely coming out for it. But the support coming out from the side of Nova, a good early rotation, making sure that Kaze has a decent time. But when we talk about the junglers, the Martis versus the Fredrin looking like he wants to go onto the bot side, maybe go for a potential early kill. But the Martis rotating relatively standard, but both teams are looking to gather onto that small Bulbasaur.
Yeah, you are looking at them prepping, trying to take as much farm as they can. It looks like Sailor is a little bit quicker to the punch. On the top side, though, you did mention Afnan kind of rotating around in the gold lane, trying to kind of keep Carry from having a hard time, especially when you lack mobility. He does have the flicker to make up for it, but that may not be enough. And Ooga Booga, especially on this Cho, right? As if he can get a single target CC knockup onto the carry, then it could potentially open up Kazuya with the early kill, and I think that's what they're looking for, right? So You're looking at both roamers kind of babysitting their ADCs.
Yeah, and talking about babysitting, it's definitely still going to be a stalemate onto the top side, but both teams looking to rotate relatively early into the objective, but easy peasy face tanking.
Is going to rush in. Final slash on the way. You are looking at both teams still fighting it out. Nobody has fallen yet. Templess very low, 25% HP, and the Petrify on top of him, but easy peasy wrapping around. Womp Womp takes down Templess, easy peasy onto Khan, finds a kill. That is an eye for an eye. Make that a doubles, easy peasy with the decimation. Gets a triple, finds Womp Womp and Sailor Uranus. That's the jungler down for Texas A&M, and that opens up the turtle, another Northern Virginia Community College favorite.
Yeah, and Easy Peasy is so renowned for his fighters in this game. It's really hard when you put him on his bread and butter, and especially since Texas did not choose to, you know, give them anything to, did not really focus out on Easy Peasy, but the flicker.
Ooh, that's what we were talking about. The setup from Ooga Booga. It's the boogeyman out there as Kazuya is going to clean up the gold lane. Athnain does fall, and they may be able to take some of that gold plating off of that turret, but Grim now in the defense does make his way onto that tier 1 turret.
Yeah, it's a 4-for-1 overall score, a 2K advantage for the side of Nova so far, and they're kind of pushing in with this snowball. They're able to grab up that neutral objective, making sure that they could get an early kill on the Diggy, and typically, you know, that's not something that you want to do, right? To go for a lot of the supports or roams early on, but since Diggy has not died a single time, he's still worth just as much gold as a gold lane. So definitely feeding early into Kaze right there is going to prevail. But bot side,
yeah, huge damage on the way. Ooga Booga is going to find a kill. Takes down Womp Womp, and now Sailor by himself in the 2v1 situation. You know, he's not having the easiest time, especially with his team being 1-5. He's still trying to rotate around and keep up in the jungle. But speaking of keeping up, make that a 1v4. Nowhere to go. Easy peasy. Lemon Squeezy takes another kill and finds Sailor.
And that dive was so perfectly timed with the Netherrealm. It might have been a little bit overused of the spells, but it just made it so easy for the side of Northern Virginia to kind of dive into that bot side without taking any repercussion. But top side right here does look like the side of Texas is looking to siege. But with Ooga Booga being there, I don't think they're going to find anything. So maybe the next fight, they're just gearing up and setting into this next neutral objective.
Right now, you know, it's pretty much anybody's game. Even though it's 6-1, we're still very early in this match. Texas A&M University has to play a little bit safer, focus on these objectives, and play as a team. You can't go for the solo pickoffs. Your team is way too far down to be able to win that trade. But if you kind of group together, you can see Northern Virginia Community College maybe making a mistake. The battle on the way for this turtle, who will be able to get the retribution. Sailor in position for it, but easy peasy right there as well. We'll claim it for Northern Virginia Community College. You're going to see the Netherrealm go down and sustain the team of Texas A&M, but Black Dragon from Womp Womp hovering around, drops down with the taunt, with the kill. Sailor is going to go ahead and find Kazuya, and yet another kill maybe on the way. Ooga Booga finds Grim. A double from Sailor is going to respond back by taking down Ooga Booga. Furious dive in, Bokarasco, Black Dragon out. Oh, back to safety on that China Southern Airlines. Templess takes on Womp Womp. Easy peasy is going to find Sailor Uranus, and Afnan by himself, easy peasy with the double kill, takes down Khan.
Yeah, 6-0-2 is going to be his score. He's snowballing quite ahead. He already has 4.3k gold compared to the 3k on the side of that Fredrin. So Easy Peasy definitely, you know, having a strong showing in this jungle matchup. A total overall score is going to be 10-3, about a 5k gold lead for the side of Nova. They're definitely having a strong showing, and it definitely shows that, hey, in that round robin, you know, the side of Nova, they were able to take Texas AMA with that victory, and it's continuing to show right now. Now, a small switch coming out from the bot side.
Ooh, Womp Womp 2v1 situation. Kazuya able to prevail, takes him down with the assistance from Ooga Booga. It's just been all over the map so far with this Cho, right? 2-1-4, dominating. Demon Hunter Sword picked up from Kazuya to kind of melt down the tankier HP heroes. Now, it's 3-12, 6 minutes in, slowly but surely leaning into the favor of Northern Virginia Community College with ease. Texas A&M, they got to kind of regain their composure and focus, right? You got to see find a way for Grim to get online, especially with this carries. He'll be able to burst down the side of Northern Virginia Community College if they can hold off into the late game. But the aggressiveness from Ooga Booga looks like they have other plans. Time Journey going out from Afnan, and you are going to see Templess and Ooga Booga clear the top side.
And here's the thing, right? With a lot of these great teams, I feel like the biggest difference is what can they do when they get these kills and when they get these pickoffs. And for the side of Texas A&M, they spent a lot of resources to be put onto the top side, and they were unable to get anything. Not a neutral objective, not a tower. But on the other hand, Nova, whenever they choose to siege onto a lane, for example, on this top side, they're able to grab up the tower, and if not, an extra kill here and there. And look at this small little bush camp.
You're going to see that turret fall on the top side. First turret of the game in hands of Northern Virginia Community College, circling Eagle and Ground. You're going to see Templess find Sailor Uranus. But wait a minute, more kills may be on the way. Con 6 trying to get out of there. Nether Realm from Boca Roscoe. Kazuya is going to take down Con 6. That is 2 members falling for Texas A&M. And now on the retreat, Ooga Booga once more, though. The way of the dragon in. Checking Afnan out. Grim left alone on the top side. And the recall back to safety from Ooga Booga.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for the side of Nova, they're snowballing quite well. 7K for a 7-8 minute game so far. They're definitely in a good standing so far, as Easy Peasy denies both of the red and the blue buff, leaving Sailor Uranus with nothing to farm left. He literally only has about 4K gold, and he's looking like he's going to get chomped up right now. Ooga Booga, Way of the Dragon coming through, does not actually choose, but the reverse initiation.
Hey, Jurgens, the Mortar Coils trying to fight him off, but the first time pulling him back in. Easy Peasy now trying to front line. Templess with the counterplay. Final slash in. Airborne knockup on the Sailor. Very low. Easy Peasy with decimation. Takes him down. On the chase, Afnan very low. Double. Finds Con 6. A triple. Finds Afnan. A maniac. May be on the way as Easy Peasy has done it yet again. 19-3 stretch. Northern Virginia Community College on fire.
We can't be giving this guy what he wants. This guy is playing fighters over fighters, winning matches back to back, and another perfect performance coming out of him. 10-0-2, a triple kill within the first 3 minutes, and a maniac at the 9. This next neutral objective, the Lord, is definitely going to go into the hands of Nova. And Easy Peasy, what I'm interested is about his build. Does he have that BOD? No. He actually opts to go for a Malefic and a Hunter's Strike. So definitely a lot of early game and late game penetration. But he doesn't have that BOD yet. And it makes me wonder if he wants to go a little bit more defensive or a little bit of offense. Because at the scoreboard of a 19-3 where it's just completely one-sided, I think he has the flexibility to do either or.
And maybe the mobility as well with the Hunter Strike. But as you are looking at the 3:19 so far stretch at the 10-minute mark, now reaching the halfway point of today's match, the semifinals for both these teams fighting it out, trying to make their way to the regionals, but only one will be able to move forward. But this is only game 1 in our best of 3. So far, though, Northern Virginia Community College showing up, doing their homework, and executing where needed. You're looking at Texas A&M kind of having a little bit of a hard time finding their composure as the Lord is now making his way on the top side. Lanes have been synced in Northern Virginia Community College on the seed to try and close this out, or at least open up the base for Texas A&M.
Yeah, but look at the damage coming out from Melissa. He just tossed that second skill in, and you know, the tankiest member, Sailor Uranus, has nothing that they can do. Ooh,
big play on the way. Lord still intact. Nether Realm activated over there. They are trying to hold him off. Black Dragon circling around from Womp Womp all the way to the back line. Sailor is going to find Ooga Booga. One member falling for the side of Northern Virginia Community College. Lord does fall on top of that. Easy Peasy finds a kill. Takes down Womp Womp. Kazuya takes down Con 6. A double kill from Easy Peasy finds Grim. You are looking at Afnan by himself. A triple kill from Easy Peasy finds Sailor. Afnan by himself. The Diggy. We've seen why it was banned in the past, but I don't think it has the power to hold off a 4-man team from closing out the game in Northern Virginia Community College. Claims game 1 in the semifinals.
a strong standing performance from Northern Virginia Community College, man. And, you know, it's honestly due to how Easy Peasy controls the match the entire game from start to finish, had that triple kill early on, had that maniac, and continues to have enough HP to survive from the beginning to the end of the team fights. The brute force, the hunter strike, those two items allow Easy Peasy to have the mobility necessary to go through after time with the decimation, making sure that he's getting units left and right here. Texas A&M unfortunately was not able to get the victory that they were looking for. The side of Anova, again, Boca Roscoe had the Nether Realm in his IMU, was able to use that to change a lot of the team fights. Kaze had a great time onto that goal lane, and Tempest, 2, 1, and 12 rotating onto the top side, building pure defensive items, but was still able to, cause a lot of impact in the game.
Speaking of impact, you said Easy Peasy with the 2 items that made the difference, but we're forgetting about one more item that he had, right? That Oneplus on his side to close out that game. Now, 23-4. If you're the side of China Southern, or not China Southern, Texas A&M, but China Southern watching from the skies above, where do you go from here, right? Where did you go wrong? Where can we pick up the pieces to turn this back around? So I would love to see what's going to happen in game number 2.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see how they deal with the aggressiveness coming out from Nova. But guys, we're going to take a 2-minute break and we will be right back.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
Welcome back to the East Semi-Regional Finals for the Mlbb X AES Campus Tournament. And we were able to see an exciting game from Montgomery versus Penn State. A very, very quick fashion. 10 minutes game so far for all of our semi-finals. Montgomery was able to take Penn State 2-0, moving on to the regional finals, which is going to happen after this match. And now we have Nova versus Texas AMU. And Nova dominated the very first game of the best of 3 series within 10 minutes also. So we want to see how Texas A&M bounce back in this series. Now, today's sponsor is going to be Oneplus. Get ready for an extraordinary experience with Oneplus Join us on January 23rd for an exclusive event that promise innovation, excitement, and cutting-edge technology. As an official sponsor, Oneplus is gearing up to unveil the next level of devices that will redefine your digital world. So mark your calendars and be a part of the future. Oneplus will elevate your tech game January 23rd, where innovation meets excellence. And come fly with China Southern Airlines, the leading air transportation service affiliated with China Southern Air Holding Company. We boast the most extensive routes, networks, and largest passenger capacity in China. Our goal is to be globally renowned airline offering reliable, punctual, and convenient services. Explore our North American routes like LAX to Canada, JFK to Canada, featuring advanced 777 300 ER aircraft for a comfortable and entertaining traveling experience. Join us as we soar to new heights, providing top-notch service at every opportunity. Now, two teams coming out. We have Nova dominating in that very last series against this Texas A&M. Drafts are already secured for the first phase of bans. And on the casting desk, we do have MLSA founder, NACT. I don't know how many times you've done it, but Steph Wheezy on the show tonight.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the invite. Join us as we soar to new heights, as China Southern Airlines would say, on our new OnePluses as we watch today's amazing game. This is a best of three. This is the semifinals, trying to make it out to the regionals. So far, a 1-0 lead. Nova spearheading the way and still undefeated against Texas A&M, right? We got to see them yesterday in the round robin, and it was a similar story. Nova just able to kind of soar through with ease. Now, the last game, it was still in Nova's favor, right? They were more of the aggressor, and they were able to kind of take those early objectives, and it started with easy peasy, especially on that Marta's pickup. Those early kills with the decimation, you have to kind of be wary of that. He was able to get a double maniac to kind of start that off for his team. So as we are looking at the second match, bans are in the way and picks are on the table. You are seeing Templars pick up the Terizla and stacked up a Kazuhaya on this Melissa, and then the one that we've been fearing in the mid lane, Bokarasco on the Nana.
Yeah, and on the other hand, TA&M definitely are looking to go for some of the late game penetrations. The carry gets picked up once again. That has been used quite a bit, along with the Arlot and the Minotaur. Now, this time around, Texas has decided to focus some of the bans on to Nova's side, especially on Easy Peasy. The X-Borg and the Martis gets taken away, which I 100% agree, right? You really cannot let Easy Peasy decide what hero he wants with such a big hero flexibility pool. Now, Diggy gets banned out to protect the Minotaur. We do love that. And the Faramis, which has been picked up in the last game, is now off the table for the side of Texas. So I wonder if Nova is going to look to ban out even more of the magic damage dealers. So Valentina still being on the board with the IMU paired up with that Terizla ultimate penalty zone. I do think that is a great option for the side of Texas.
Yeah, and looking at today's match, is something that's kind of been reoccurring is the carry pickup, especially in the first half of the draft. Every single game we've watched today has had a carry inside of it. You are going to look at the Melissa versus the carry in the gold lane. Melissa can be a little bit more of that aggressor with the power of muddles, but carry can definitely stack up a little bit better for the late. I'm kind of paying attention to Afnan, right? He locked in this Minoan Fury a lot earlier than I would have expected with Minotaur, but I guess the Diggy's not on the table to really use the time journey against him, so a possible plan for the draft before it even started, and that may work in their favor. Terizla, though, the penalty zone will make up for the CC on the side of Nova, stacked up, especially when they're going against a heavy CC composition, such as that Arlight and that Minoan Fury against them. We don't know who the jungler is going to be yet for Nova, but speaking of junglers, Sayla Uranus locking it in for the team of Texas A&M is going to pick up that Akai.
And I liked how you kind of talked about the penalty zone coming through, right? When the penalty zone is being available on the board, they're kind of going to target that late game marksman carry, the ability to kind of just jump forward with the flicker to get him out of the team fight is going to be really important. But a Purify also is going to deal quite well, but at the same time, you have Kaze with this Melissa, and if the carry does take the Purify, he's still going to be able to take a lot of the damage, right? So it forces Grim to be able to choose between his spells, and he has to really decide what he wants. But the draft has been finalized. Ooga Booga picks up this guy, like, man, like, I don't know why he's in the wrong position, but there's definitely something that is there. The Fredrin and also the Alpha, which does a lot of penetration. But Con 6 decides to go with the Lilia, the first Lilia in the stream so far. Definitely still a good hero. I'm excited to see what Texas is going to bring to this table for a potential reverse sweep.
Yeah, definitely want to see how this kind of plays out, right? As there are no second chances this time around. It is a best of 3, and Nova leading the way 1-0. Texas A&M still not able to find a victory against them in our entire tournament. And now this may be their chance to kind of flip the script and change the narrative, as we are seeing both these teams dive into the land of Dawn. One thing stands the same. Make sure you guys pull out your Oneplus phones to watch this. The best phones out there. And if you are booking a flight, China Southern Airlines is definitely the way to go. Now, Yue, where is this going to lead us, right? I don't like seeing sweeps. I like seeing matches go all the way to the final game of the series. And I'm hoping that's what we see today. But that's going to require a little bit of a strategy switch up from Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas definitely have to figure out how they could soar into the new heights, especially with China Southern Airlines right there. You could already see Ooga Booga standing in the buff, forcing that retribution early on. It's kind of the same story, right? When you look at these roams, if they're able to force that retribution early on, it feels like the impact that they have is just much more significant than a roam that kind of stands near the mid and rotates around with the marksman. So already some of the impact from Nova is just a little bit better from the side of Texas, but that does not take him out of the game. If Texas can choose the correct team fights, and the Minotaur has the potential to get that double, triple knockup, if they're setting up for the rights correct, if they're setting up the fights correctly, they should be able to gather for a small lead, potentially even leading them to go and prevail in this game. And we do want to see Texas finding the strategy that they need to get these things. But on the top side, it seems like Sailor Uranus is going to be there.
2v1 situation, very low. Tempest does make his way back into that turret, able to not allow first blood into the hands of Texas A&M. Speaking of these teams, though, Northern Virginia Community College, easy peasy. We've seen him kind of shine with the Martis last game. A little bit untraditional pick from what I'm used to seeing. Is going to pick up that alpha in the jungle position. It does provide the sustainability. He can fight from range as well. And he has the knockup with the alpha charge, which could work in his favor. Not to mention the penalty zone from Templars. If you stack both those together and the energy eruption from Ooga Booga, that's a lot of chain CC for these neutral objectives, which will make it a little harder for Texas A&M to push in and contest on these turtles. And there you go. The first turtle on the way, left uncontested, will go into the hands of Northern Virginia Community College.
It might be a smart decision to not contest early on. I feel like the side of Texas, they do have the damage ability, and look at that damage. Afin already chunked to a 2-bar HP just with the ultimate of that Nana. And man, like, without contesting the objective so early on in Akai, I feel like that's a little bit wrong, because they could have used that heavy spin onto the top side, tried to grab up Templars and give up that turtle. But if you have the heavy spin, why not try to go for a Hail Mary play and go for a contestation early on? Because if you let Alpha scale, especially with the true damage that he has, it's going to be quite hard to kind of jump back into this game.
Yeah, and you're already looking at Ooga Booga. He ran the Cho last time for the roam position. This time running the Fredrin in the roam, which we traditionally see more in the jungle. So he's definitely not afraid to switch it up and shows you his flexibility with this hero pool. Speaking of hero pools, though, I love the answer from Kazuya on the Melissa, especially against that Akai. But speaking of answers, forcing out the flicker and the retreat over there from Con 6 and Afnan, the early aggressive play from Northern Virginia Community College, already shown that they're leading the way in the early game.
Yeah, and there's 3 members onto the top side. The heavy spin gets popped.
Does get popped onto the orange buff, forcing easy peasy onto the wall. Looks like the orange buff is still intact, but they are going in for the kill. Sailor very low, able to get out of there with a sliver of health, but easy peasy, able to get what he came for able to take this orange buff away from Texas A&M.
Yeah, and Texas A&M, a lot of the spells that they're using so far is only to be for a defensive route. And talk about the emblems, you have a lot of those defensive emblems where each time you hit a particular target, you do get some HP back. But it doesn't feel like Texas has the ability to kind of jump into these team fights aggressively on the offensive side, right? You have the Minoan Sphere, you have the heavy spin. Those provide a lot of CC, but without the scaling of that carry, which on the boss side is getting chunked.
Speaking of scaling, the tips are scaling inside in Northern Virginia Community College's favor. Huge play. First blood drawn. Kazuya takes down Con 6 with the assistance of the 3-man setup. That is first blood for them and a possible neutral objective on the way as Turtle still intact. Easy peasy, able to hit it with the retribution to claim that for his team. Afnan in a tricky situation, trying to get out of there, hit with the alpha charge, and Easy peasy secures the kill. 2 for 0 stretch and a turtle in his hands.
Yeah, it's about a 4K gold lead 4 minutes in. That's not something that you want to see if you're the side of Texas A&M. You definitely want to be able to scale a little bit better, try to go even early on. But if the side of Nova is taking both the neutral objectives, getting kills on the opposite side of lanes, getting the gold plate tower onto the gold side, it just smells bad news for the side of Texas A&M. But Ooga Booga caught pretty low here.
Yeah, may not be able to get out of there. Is going to go ahead and hit that promo route down, but Con 6 on the chase. Ooga Booga very low, does get out of there. Easy Peasy takes down Sailor. Bokarosco takes down Afnan. A counterplay from Northern Virginia Community College. Now on the chase, Easy Peasy once more. Does he have the alpha charge? Nobody has sustainability. Gets the double kill. No passive in play, and Con 6 will fall in the mid lane.
Yeah, about a 5K gold lead so far, and you know they're definitely scaling well into the late game. Looks like Grim is trying to defend this mid, but the penalty zone coming through. He's chunked dangerously. I think he's gonna be able to get out, but the mid tower is going to fall along with the bot. Nova taking care of business. Early game, 2 neutral objectives secure and 2 of the outer towers down before that 6 minutes mark.
Yeah, able to open up the map in their favor and extend the lead to a 5-kill threshold. You are looking at them leading in terms of gold by 7,000 now. I mean, looking at the gold laners, right? 5,000 gold in the hands of Kaze. And Lyrinus very low, needs to get out of there. Sailor very low. Ooga Booga and Vokarosco not afraid to kind of deal some additional damage. And you're looking at the gold lane over there for Texas A&M. Grim trailing down by 2,000 gold. Not a good start, especially for the carry who takes a lot of time to rev up. And Melissa already hitting where she needs to be, right? That mid to late game power spike on the way. Demon Hunter Sword has been picked up with the Corrosion Scythe, and now the Turtle left uncontested.
And we also have to take in the factor that Carey is building a Thunderbolt. He's pushing his scaling so far back that it's going to be hard for the side of Texas A&M to deal any bit of damage. They have an Arlaw onto the XP, which doesn't do that much damage, builds full tank. They have a Minotaur, doesn't do damage, builds full tank. And they also have an Akai, which doesn't build damage. So, you know, all of the members from the side of Texas is choosing to go for a defensive route. That's going to push their damage scaling even more so far back. Versus on the other hand, you have Bloodhounds building extremely aggressive, right? The Nana coming through with a heavy spin.
On the wall for the setup, but no one there to follow. Kaze takes down Sailor. An alpha charge onto Afnan, rushing back behind enemy lines, trying to extend the lead further. Easy Peasy takes down Afnan. On that amazing assist. Oh, wait a minute. Kaze finds Con 6. It's now 8-0 lead. And the blue buff taken. Northern Virginia Community College just showing the world that they're ready to get on their flight with China Southern Airlines and grab their Onepluses into the land of dawn and possibly make a spot into the regional finals.
Yeah, and with those devices and those airline tickets, they're definitely going to have the ability to just showcase their skills even more as they're going to be heading into regional finals, but they still have a lot more games to play. The side of Texas A&M, they are not losing hope right now, defending this mid tower. And, you know, just with 1 or 2 good team fights, they could definitely change everything around.
Maybe they need
my!
Even further lead. Ooga Booga gets one. Bokarosco gets the other. Afnan falling alongside Grim. And now this will open up the opportunity to possibly take this tier 2 turret in the mid lane. No, they're going to go for the top. Great focus on their objectives when it comes to these turrets falling. Bokarosco with the Molina Blitz is going to go ahead and get a kill of his own. Shuts down Con 6 on the top side. And the tier 2 turret in the mid lane will fall.
Yeah, and they're just grabbing towers here and they're bullying the side of Texas out of the defensive zone. They grabbed up the mid, they grabbed up the top side. Now they're heading into the neutral objectives, and it just seems like Nova has control over the entire game. Early on, they played perfectly. Now we're heading into the mid to the late game. They're still playing perfectly. They were able to grab up all the outer towers before getting this next Lord, meaning they're gonna have a Lord marching down into their inner towers. Texas A&M, in order for them to kind of jump back into this game, they have to focus on some of the damage dealers. Maybe it takes them killing Ooga Booga to start a small scaling. Maybe it takes them to just deny easy peasy some of the CCs and making sure that the carry can just full on shred an opponent. But either way, they have to find a way to shut down one of the opponents, because without a shutdown here, they're just going to be losing.
Yeah, speaking of losing, Grim is going to take down Ooga Booga. A good start. Easy Peasy finds Bomb Up to respond. Kaze takes down Afnan. A double from Easy Peasy is going to find Grim. 3 members falling for Texas A&M. Bokarosco will take the inhibitor for the mid lane, and they claim the top side. Lord still intact, and now marching to the base. Crystal Khan 6 by himself. Looks at Sailor Uranus. Just going to go ahead and let them have it. Not much they could do in that situation, and Northern Virginia Community College will pave through for victory.
Absolutely dominating victory once again for the side of Nova, right? And this is going to be a 9 minutes game only. Nova was able to take out not Montgomery College, but for the side of Northern Virginia College. Ooh, wrong side again. But the scoreboard is going to be 14-1, a 10-minute game once again. Texas unable to find the rhythm that they needed to get a game off of Northern Virginia College. A 2-0 sweep. MVP goes to Easy Peasy once again on his fighter bread and butter. 6-0 and 3 Ooga Booga with the Fredron that I questioned a little bit. Scored the the third highest along with Boca Roscoe. So, the side of Nova, they really feel like they have the snowball going for them. They know exactly what heroes they need to pick to counter out the draft coming out from Texas. And let's take a look at some of the statistics that is going to be up on the board.
Yeah, we are looking at these teams and kind of what paved the way for victory for the side of Northern Virginia Community College. Team participation is where we're going to start, right? They're always together at the right place at the right time. And even when it comes to damage, most of them pretty stacked evenly. But something that does shine is the turret damage from Kazuya over there, rotating around and claiming these objectives, not wasting any time with that 60% turret damage. Texas A&M just didn't find the rhythm or the momentum to get started, and Northern Virginia Community College just left them in the dust. But now that means Northern Virginia Community College will move forward to the regional finals to go up against Montgomery. And I think these are two teams closer in caliber, and it's definitely going to give them a challenge.
Yes, and once again, guys, this stream is sponsored by Oneplus and China Southern Airlines. Guys, we're going to go for a commercial break. We will be right back.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
One, two.
Bones of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
of steel.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet! Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
All right, everyone, welcome back to the MLBBX AS Regional Finals between Montgomery College versus Northern Virginia Community College. We're going to jump straight into the match. It is going to be only a best of 3 series. But for today's, we do have our sponsors. Getting ready for an extraordinary experience with Oneplus. Join us on January 23rd as we have our exclusive event that promises innovation, excitement, and cutting-edge technology. Make sure to mark your calendars and be a part of the future and elevate your tech game with Oneplus on January 23rd, where innovation meets excellence. And also, come fly with us on China Southern Airlines, the leading airline transportation service. We boast the most extensive route network and largest passenger capacity in China. Our goal is to be a global renowned airline offering reliable, punctual, and convenient services. Join us as we soar to new heights, providing top-notch service at every opportunity. And today on the casting desk, I'm sure you have heard of the man, the word, the plane, the bird. It is going to be Steph Weezy as the founder of MLSA and NACT anchor host. Weezy, welcome to the match.
North America. Thank you so much, UA, for the phenomenal introduction. And speaking of things that are phenomenal, MLBB AES Campus Tournament Regional Finals, we have finally made it here. 2 teams fighting it out through the semis, Nova and Montgomery. I would say between both these teams was pretty even in terms of the IQ when it came to their opponents who they were going against, right? They both got 2-0 sweeps in the semifinals, and now they remain undefeated. But today, one of them will fall, as this is a best of 3. And with the draft on the way, already through the first half of the ban phase, 2 picks have been slotted in. We are going to go with that Faramis on the side for Montgomery, and then Nova slotting in that export.
Now, here's the interesting thing. A lot of the teams, when they face against Nova, they do like to ban out some of the fighter jungles. But this time around, they decide to open everything up for easy peasy. They take the X-Borg on the first pick, and what's actually even more interesting is X-Borg is traditionally good against high HP targets. I can't even speak English, especially targeted towards the Barats, right? With the pure HP shred, like the true damage coming in from the X-Borg, the little fire flames, he should be able to knock them down. But Montgomery College, they decide that that's exactly what they still want to take. They also have the Nether Realm providing a lot of supports coming in from the Faramis, and Ooga Booga decides to pick up this Tigreal. That's kind of pretty, that's pretty interesting because Weezy, I'm sure with all the MLSA casts that we have so far, we've barely seen Tigreal come on to the Land of Dawn.
I know. I started seeing a showcase of Tigreal in M5, and I was like, man, what is going on? I've been waiting for this since the beginning of when I started my MLBB journey, but glad to see him in the spotlight now, and kind of a risky move for Nova, especially with this being the regional finals. And there goes the counterplay against it. Flip through the cracks for the first half of the ban phase. Diggy going into Montgomery's hands.
Oh no, with the Diggy being a high priority ban throughout this whole entire tournament, now we're in the regional finals and Diggy has actually been left open. And with Ooga Booga slotting in this Tigreal so extremely early, we all know Diggy counters the hard CC that Tigreal provides. So I'm going to actually expect that Nova is going to have a hard time, especially when you're talking about the Roam versus Roam matchup. But on the other hand, the side of Nova, they do have a lot of abilities that can, you know, force that time journey out relatively early in the team fight. They have the Final Slash coming out from the R-Lot. They also have the Last Insanity, which does force Diggy to use the ultimate because the damage is just a little bit too heavy. So they, on the side of Nova, they aren't extremely scared of the Diggy. It might just be on Ooga Booga's hand. But if they can pop the time journey out, I can expect Nova to prevail in this matchup.
And you know, we haven't seen the marksmans picked up. Carry would definitely be a wise option for either side. I mean, we see the Claude banned out. The Melissa is still intact and definitely an option for either side. But we've seen Carry kind of walk through every single game today. And with this being the regional finals, I expect nonetheless the same thing happening yet again. It could be a wise decision for Montgomery to pick up the Carry. Can definitely burst down that X-Borg, the Tigreal, and also Tempest on this R-Lot. But if they want to go for the Melissa, hey, I can't knock that either because the Melissa can provide that go away. But no, Mikasa, he's going to go ahead and show us a little bit of that showcasing yet again with this Freya.
And the Freya has gotten that new skin coming out. I believe it is a collector. So definitely Melissa is looking to collect a lot of these heroes in this matchup. On the bread and butter, you know, it's always nice when these people pull up with some of their best heroes, and Boca with an unconventional Lu Yi coming through. I do believe Lu Yi is to deal with kind of the Ube strat where everyone is together from the side of Montgomery, right? You have the Diggy, and Diggy, to pop time journey, you need everyone kind of around and close with you. And same thing with the Fairness with the Nether Realm, you want your teammates to be within your group circle. So with the Lu Yi, it kind of forces Montgomery to spread apart a little bit more, and now a carry being picked up onto the gold lane. We've seen this hero pretty much being picked or banned every single game in our AES tournaments, and once again we get to see him in action this game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's a surprise, right? We kind of expected the carry to walk through, but you hit it right on the money with Boca Rosca with the unconventional pick, locking in that Lu Yi. I wouldn't say I would have expected it, but I have seen Boca Rosca run this in the past in previous tournaments. Something he likes to pull out. I wouldn't say it always works in his favor, though, but this may actually turn in his favor. And I think the plan for that is you're looking at the Barats, right? It's such a big target to hit alongside the Freya. And he can chain them both in that CC with the Yin and Yang, and also probably knock down the Diggy, who's going to have a hard time being that frontline presence. Going to have to play from very far. Now, with the drafts being finalized from both sides, looks like that was is that a Melissa?
Ixia.
It's an Ixia locked in. So the Ixia is going to be locked in for the final position. A little showcasing of some of the newer heroes in the Mlbb scene. And we're going to have to see where this goes. But one thing is for certain, this is a best of 3. This is the Mlbb AES Campus Tournament Grand Finals. Nova versus Montgomery College. Northern Virginia Community College is that abbreviation for that.
Yep.
Who will be able to move forward? Who will be able to claim victory as we are embarking in the land of dawn? I can't wait to see where this goes. But both of these teams undefeated in the semifinals 2-0.
Yeah, and both of these teams have scored the highest in their round robin bracket. So that's definitely something that we have to kind of watch out for here around. Talk about our sponsors. We do have Oneplus and China Southern Airlines as our official sponsors. If you're looking for some flights and deals, make sure to go to their website, www.csair.com/US. There's a lot of flights connecting from, let's say, LAX to Canada or JFK to Canada. So definitely look out for them. But a standard opening coming out from both teams. Typically, you do see the Diggy going for a 1-1-2, but it seems like he is opting to rotate a little bit late to kind of stay with the jungler, making sure that he does not get invaded by the Tigreal. Now, on the other hand, Northern Virginia Community College, they are taking a red to blue buff, so a very fast rotation onto the top side, and it definitely seems like there's going to be a lot of people for that next cabbage fight.
Yeah, they are definitely getting their right rotations on inside of the jungle. But on the bottom side, you are seeing Diggy paired up with the Ixia to give him a little bit of easier time up against that carry, trying to shut down carry in the early game to not allow him to spike up into the late. And you're already seeing carry rocking that vengeance super early, not even 2 minutes in. Both teams trying to find their way into this match and seeing who can take the lead. I'm expecting high caliber gameplay, right? High execution, high IQ from both of these teams who made it all the way to the regional finals. This is not going to be the same story as their matches in the semis, where it was a one-sided story, a 2-0 sweep. But this may go down to the wire, down to the last engagement, especially with how they've been performing today.
Yeah, and the regional finals is something, you know, it's for $1,000 prize pool, and it's actually quite a bit amount of money. So I'm excited to see how these guys deal with the pressures coming in. Now, Diggy, I spent a lot of time into the gold lane, but it doesn't seem like there is actually that much advantage for their side. But at the same time, Exia is one of those heroes that require some items to skill, kind of just like the carry. So it's definitely pretty exciting to see, you know, the stalemate coming out from both teams looking to go into the late game. But it seems like for the side of Montgomery, looking to pull the turtle early on here.
Yeah, looking to pull the turtle early on. Nobody has fallen so far. Good start for both teams. But you are seeing the turtle getting very low, and Drama in position for the retribution. Templess wrap it around. Drama able to claim it for his team. Montgomery, one objective in their favor, and now maybe able to get a kill. Gets the grab, gets the stun. Templess on the wall, and let me roam, please. Takes the kill. 1-0. Montgomery College in the lead.
Yeah, and ooh, the implosion coming through from the Tigreal. Unfortunately, the flicker play does come out, and the barrage coming through from the Exia, it's actually quite good. Another Realm completely destroying the damage dealt, but the last Insanity is just a little bit too much to handle. Easy peasy coming out ahead, looking to grab up some of the last member, but seems like Sayori is going to be the one that comes back out on top there.
Ooh, a little too aggressive. Ooga Booga does fall, trying to claim some of that real estate on the bottom side, not working in their favor. And Mikasa, speaking of size, 1v1 situation, Templess is going to be able to burst him down with this R-Lot in the final slash, which will open up his lane for some possible sieging of those gold platings. Now, there it goes. This is something that we've been seeing from Northern Virginia Community College, harassing the enemy jungle at any given moment, taking any little bit of farm that they can, and with that buff in his hands, that will kind of give them a little bit of a harder time. But you are going to go ahead and see R very low. You are seeing Kaze arrest him with Speedy Light Wheels. Is going to take him down. Easy peasy. You need to get out of there. Implosion goes in from Tigreal. Catch Drama, but he will possibly be able to get out. But no, Last Insanity from Easy Peasy is going to catch him and burst him down. 4-3 on the scoreboard. Northern Virginia Community College now taking the lead in terms of kills.
Yeah, and this is kind of the X-Borg and Barat's matchup that I was talking about. The last Insanity, along with the true damage coming out from his first skill, is a lot to handle for majority of the tanks because they just lack the mobility, and the constant slow and the movement speed that the X-Borg has just allows him to be extremely agile in that jungle matchup. So definitely a small advantage so far in terms of that. But if you take a look at the gold lead, it still seems like Montgomery College is holding on to it quite well. Sayori has done pretty good in majority of the tournaments, and now with the 2-0 lead on her KDA, she's going to be dealing a lot of damage. The side of Montgomery looking to start up this next neutral objective.
Yeah, they are going to try and claim yet another turtle in their hands. Northern Virginia Community College trying to find a way back in, but you are seeing the wall kind of form for Montgomery, and now the engagement on the way. They were able to get that turtle and maybe able to get some kills as R is going to take down Boca Roscoe. The mage does fall for Nova, but wait a minute. Last Sanity from Easy Peasy in. Let me roam, please. Will flicker out. Not able to catch any damage from that. Sayoi is going to find Ooga Booga, though. Down goes Tigreal. Two members falling in that engagement for the Northern Virginia Community College, and now may cost them their turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, Nova was down two of those members along with the flicker and implosion, with a suicide mission coming out from Ooga Booga. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize on any of those team fights. Now Easy Peasy, the one being chased.
Yeah, being chased and maybe able to get the kill. Huge knockup on Easy Peasy with the leap of faith from Mikasa, but now the Speedy Light Wheels. Look at that damage. Kaze definitely revving up, and they may have to watch out for him as he's starting to become a heavy hitter. But speaking of heavy hitters, I know you've seen it. The Blade of Despair picked up from Mikasa.
Yeah, and typically with a lot of the XP lanes, you don't really see a Blade of Despair as the first item, but Mikasa being the Freya GOAT, as I like to call him, definitely picking up that BOD early on is going to prove that he's going to have a lot of damage, especially from the mid to the late game. Now especially, he's going to be able to scale quite well. He picked up literally the most expensive items, but on the other hand, you do have a lot of defensive capabilities in the flicker coming out.
Ooh, onto Mikasa, 2v1 situation. Possible Last Sanity will hit the mark, and Mikasa does fall. You are looking at Drama trying to deal some damage, trying to get some revenge, but not able to shut down Easy Peasy as he recalls back to safety. Right now, both teams even on the scoreboard, 5-5, 2,000 gold lead in the favor for Montgomery. But the star player so far, I would definitely say Sayoi on this Faramis, 3-0-1, having a great time rotating around the map, using the Nether Realm when needed. I can't say the same for Boca Roscoe, though. We need to see where this Lu Yi is going to kind of paint into this picture as they're battling over this next turtle.
Yeah, but it seems like the side of Nova definitely has the advantage in terms of starting this objective. But, ooh, the jungler gets pulled onto the side. The Retribution is unable to even connect.
Easy Peasy is going to claim the turtle for his team, and now may be able to claim some bodies as Drama takes down Ooga Booga. You are looking at Kaze able to get out of there with the vengeance. Easy Peasy as well. Everybody's scattering around from the side of Montgomery, trying to check every bush for possible pickoff. And it's still a very close game. And this is what you love to see, right? You don't like to watch a match and just be like, oh, I know this is going to be over in 10 minutes. This is definitely not going to be a 10-minute game the way this is going, as you are going to go ahead and see both these teams trying to claim some real estate on the map. The mid turret did fall, though. And speaking of falling, oh, there it goes, a full barrage connecting, and let me roam with reverse time, draws the kill on Kazuya.
Yeah, and you know, the Diggy was picked up a little bit behind the Tigreal, and I feel like he's causing a lot of impact. 205, there's literally unable to be shut down by the side of Nova. And you know, the Diggy is extremely annoying, and to be able to play that in such a high caliber matchup, you know, it definitely feels like Nova, they have to either pick the Diggy up themselves or find a counter. They can't be picking up roams like Tigreal, like first or second pick, especially at a 0, 3, and 2 compared to that Diggy. The side of Montgomery, they just have a very easy draft. They can make a few mistakes here and there, and they have the time journey and the Nether Realm as the two late game insurances. But for the side of Nova, they are literally just they're reliant on getting that flicker implosion coming out from the Tigreal, and without, you know, the time journey being popped early on, they're going to be losing a lot of these team fights if they don't play it extremely cautiously.
Kills so far leading in Montgomery's favor came from Ooga Booga falling on that Tigreal, especially having to be that frontline presence. When you have that Ixia, right, you have that Star Helix able to kind of group and CC anybody that gets caught inside of it. Definitely not going to be the easiest time, and paired up with the Diggy on top of that and sustainability from the Faramis. A well-thought decision from Montgomery inside of the draft, but hey, it also comes down to execution, and they're definitely giving Northern Virginia Community College a run for their money. And speaking of run for their money, looks like the Lord may be intact at percent HP, but a misstep, an airborne knockup, possible implosion, full barrage goes in. The battle on the Lord pit, the suppression on the drama, very low. Easy peasy takes him down with the fire missiles, and Templar shuts down Sayoe. Easy peasy with the retribution will claim the Lord, gets a double, takes down R. Mikasa will find Templars. Gets an answer back, but 3 members have fallen. Mikasa gets another. Make that a double. Make that a triple. Finds Ooga Booga. Mikasa shut down by Easy Peasy for a triple of his own. 4 members fallen as Kazuya takes down Let Me Roam. Please, thank you. That is a 3-4 trade, but the Lord definitely going in their favor. A double kill from Kazuya in the mid lane. Now it's a full wipeout onto Montgomery, and now they're going to seize this turret. May be able to take the tier 2 as well if they're fast enough.
And, you know, this all started with Let Me Roam being caught out of position. He had to flicker out onto the top side, go back to base. The time journey was out of the team fight already. And then you got K-Drama Addict walking into that mid-river position and getting caught out by the Tigreal. He got displaced into the middle of the Lord, and before the Lord was even in the retreat position, he was already dead. So, you know, the side of Montgomery College, they had a misstep, and Northern Virginia capitalized onto it. We saw this matchup yesterday where Northern Virginia, they just didn't get the victory available. But this time around, it definitely feels like they have the ability to just get these winning team fights. And with some of these winning team fights, Templars.
Yeah, monster kill, easy peasy, finding Mikasa. 1 member falling for Montgomery, but may be able to get a kill of their own as Drama taking down Templars. Overstaying is welcome, but look at the side of Nova, stacking up in that bush. Possibly a play onto that tier 2 for the top side. Sayoe, Let Me Roam, not even knowing he's there. They do get a possible stun, though. May be able to draw a kill, but they got what they came for. Able to take this turret with ease, opening the map even more in their favor. Looking at the kill scoreboard, though, 12-11. It's not too far behind for Montgomery to turn this around. And like we said in the beginning, UA, this may be one of those games where it comes down to that final engagement.
And, you know, the kill and the gold lead, I don't think it really paints the full picture, right? You had the lead from the side of Montgomery. Yes, they did throw that last team fight, but I don't even think they are close to being out of the game so far. The Diggy, especially with the time journey, can be a lot to handle, but the raw element, easy peasy on this export, has won so many competitive matches here. I do think he is going to be the reliant on how they could deal with the time journey. If easy peasy can pop the time journey early, survive in these team fights, and kind of force K-Drama out of, you know, these positions, I do think Northern Virginia has a very, very good chance. But I do like Montgomery's team comp a little bit more. The early game, you saw that Diggy kind of doing a lot of work, and I think that is still going to scale extremely well into the late game.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't agree with you more. And the late game is always going to boil down to even the execution from both of these teams, and we've seen just at what caliber they can play on, especially in the semifinals when both of them pushed forward through Texas A&M and also through Penn State. 2-0 sweeps for both of them, and now they'll possibly take their first loss today, as this is the regional finals, and only one will be able to claim victorious. But right now, you are seeing the siege onto the Lord, and it's looking like it's in Northern Virginia Community College's hands. Montgomery, they may want to contest this, as this definitely can be a game changer. And here it goes, the contest on the way. Another realm activated. Easy peasy finding the Lord. Mikasa takes down Templess, though, in response. Reverse time goes out. Mikasa gets a double, takes down Kaze. Easy peasy respond back, takes down Let Me Roam. Easy peasy very low, though. Immortality's been procced, and he needs to get out of there, but they are not letting him go. Mikasa is going to go ahead and shut him down. A triple kill in his favor. A god bloodthirsty Freya.
What?
Is in the land of Dawn, but wait a minute. Montgomery, they still have 4 members, and they have the time on their side. Yes, they did not get the Lord, but they may be able to open the map and take this game.
Yeah, and I feel like the Diggy Time journey was just a little bit too much for them to handle. The AoE CC along with the shield coming out from the flask is just a little bit too good. But on the side of Northern Virginia, they still were able to get that Lord, so the Lord is not marching against their favor. So they can still defend off these lanes relatively well. But the Yin Yang going through.
Ooh, you are going to go ahead and see him move over to the top side. Possible knockup with the Sacred Hammer from Ooga Booga is going to force out the Nether Realm from Sayoe to keep his team alive. A lot of damage on the way, but now the response back. Mikasa is going to find another, takes down Ooga Booga. Templess forced to flicker out, wraps around. Sayoe is going to go ahead and take down Bokarasco. To be Light Wheels from Kazehaya on his way out. 13 to 16, 14 minutes in. Golden Staff picked up from Kaze. Trying to enhance those basic attacks and may be able to turn the tide in his favor. The carry is something I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, because the later this game goes, the more and more he's going to melt the beefier composition, especially Mikasa and K-Drama on this Barats and Freya.
Yeah, and the Barats and Freya, these are two really, really strong heroes. The Barats provides a lot of the frontline CC and also sustainability, and Freya, especially building onto that BOD relatively early on, is going to be dealing a lot of damage. But instead of Montgomery, they still kind of lack the front line. Besides the Barats, they don't have a Diggy that's building, full sustain, but a small little engagement.
Hoss Claws was picked up in the midst of all this chaos, and now Mikasa dealing some damage. R is going to find Bokarasco with a full barrage. Implosion going in for the set, and the Sacred Hammer. Another round being activated. Saoe is going to find Kazehaya. Gold lane falling for Northern Virginia Community College. You are seeing a lot of damage on the way. K-Drama able to take down Ooga Booga. The Roamer is going to go ahead and fall. 3 members down for Nova. Can they make it 4? Yes, they can. And Sayoe is going to go ahead and take down Templess. That's going to leave Easy Peasy by himself against the 5-man team of Montgomery College. And they may be able to claim their first victory today in the regional finals. 1 set of minions through the mid lane. All Easy Peasy has to do is stop them. Can he do it? Last Insanity may be on the way, but no, the base crystal is going to go ahead and get taken down before he can even react. And that is Montgomery College claiming game 1 against Nova.
Yeah, Montgomery College able to take the very first series. It's kind of like the way that they did beforehand. I actually need to change this. But the side of Montgomery College, with the Diggy being picked after the Tigreal kind of shows the story, right? You can see the bronze on that Tigreal is just unable to cause the impact that he was really looking for. They need to make sure that either they ban out that Diggy hero or play the roam card correctly. Take the Diggy after the opponents do end up picking that roam position. But Sayori once again with the Fairness MVP 6, 2 and 9, dealing tons of damage and building a very utility focused build. The Brats also got picked up early, did extremely well. But on the other hand, Northern Virginia, it's not like they did extremely bad. Easy peasy also coming up with the MVP 7, 1 and 3. So definitely they still have to watch out for some of these matchup and these drafts, but let's take a look at some of the statistics to see if they can draw a different picture.
Yeah, looking at the statistics from that crazy game so far, game number 1 of the regional finals, you're looking at a high team fight participation from both sides of the table. But when it comes to the turret damage, Kazehaya, he was definitely all across the board trying to melt them down as fast as possible. But Montgomery College just able to kind of dominate and push through toward the end. And I think it kind of boiled down to Ooga Booga, right? Yet he had a 54% team participation, but he just had a lot of deaths on his side that didn't amount to anything for his team. And not to mention Boca Roscoe trying to chain with the CC just didn't work out in their favor, especially with that Diggy being slotted in with reverse time in the time journey. It just kind of worked in their favor. And I would say Mikasa, got to give this man credit, right? Opening it up with the leap of faith on this Freya and then making them pay with the Valkyrie's Descent. Just shows you how much of a heavy hitter he is and definitely profits on his comfort pick.
Yep. And guys, we're going to go for a quick break as we change up the teams. We're going to be right back.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos. Show them the might of our fleet. Find our way back home. None can escape from my wrath. How will I be remembered? In verses or ballads?
You can do it in studio mode.
Welcome back, everyone. Oh, we do have a small little error coming in. Give me a second, guys.
Always on the way.
Your team is banning.
Nah. Guys, we're gonna go for a small pause. We'll be right back.
Among a myriad of stars, the Valkyrie's voyage begins. Our existence brings beauty to the cosmos.
All right, welcome back. It seems like everything is sorted and fixed. This is the Mlbb X AES campus tournament between Nova and Montgomery College. Nova is going to be the one on the right side, and Montgomery College is going to be one on the left-hand side. And we saw an exciting game, a dominating performance coming out from the side of Montgomery, especially with that Diggy pick, right? The Diggy going up against the Chick Reel was just a little bit too much to handle from the side of Nova, but bans are in place. And on the casting desk, we do have Steph Wheezy here as my partner in crime.
It's been a minute since I got to do that. It's been a pleasure. Been able to cast these games today for a great cause. On top of that, Mlbb AES campus tournament. Sponsored by China Southern Airlines. Definitely make sure you guys book your flights through them to have the finest transportation. And if you guys are watching today's game, or if you're playing the game in general, make sure you pick up a Oneplus to have the finest experience on top of that. But speaking of experiences, right? Today, we're in the regional finals, and you're looking at Montgomery leading 1-0 against Nova. And this is only a best of 3, meaning if they clear this game ahead of them, they will be the regional champions. Nova needs to find a way to turn this around, and it's interesting when you look at some of these names on Nova, right? You got Easy Peasy, Bocarasco, Templus, Ooga Booga. All of these are players who've been in NACT, known across the land of Dawn for North America. I myself not really too familiar with the players over on Montgomery. I think UA maybe a little bit, maybe Mikasa. But it's just definitely showing you that North America is climbing that ladder in terms of execution and fine level gameplay, especially to take a team down like Nova, which is formerly known as the Bloodhounds, you know. So it's going to be a challenge for Nova to turn this back around. I don't think it was as easy as they thought it would have been, especially fresh off a 2-0 sweep against Texas A&M. But Montgomery was off of a sweep as well in their semifinals against Penn State.
Yeah, and I mean, these are two great teams coming in, right? Montgomery, a lot of these players have played in different leagues, different teams, you know, specifically K-Drama Addict, known as Tamaya, you know, has, you know, NACT experience. I believe did have a few matches with TOB. You also have Mikasa playing in multiple different teams, and right now he is in Gosun along with Reckless, which did play in the Empire, which was, you know, one of the strongest teams in NACT spring of last year. So all these players are really, really strong. They are probably going to be making it into that top 8 in the next spring. So, you know, definitely watch out for them over there. But back into the game, both teams have finalized their draft in the very first phase. You have the Barats, Valentina, and 1-1, which is able to get a showing this time around compared to being banned out from the last time, but Nova's response is also quite well.
Yeah, I'm worried about over there Easy Peasy with this Martis pickup, right? I mean, the man got 2 Maniacs today on the Martis, and now possibly going in for that Savage could be a game plan. And not to mention, they have sustainability behind them with the Nether Realm provided by that Paramus. But I do want to see how R kind of plays into this 1-1, right? We've seen the 1-1 be banned out pretty much majority of today. And now with it being available, could be a possible pickoff. And they banned out the Phobius, which was a very wise decision, considering that Sayoe locked in that Valentina for his team, which means they have double the amount of dash, especially with that Shadow Step. So I see some counterplays inside of the ban so far, and it's definitely working in their favor. But the Tigro this time has been banned out for the side of Nova, who previously was the ones who picked it up. Maybe expecting Montgomery to kind of slot that in as their roam, as that's the only position we really haven't seen so far. Who's the roamer going to be for Montgomery in the XP lane?
And an interesting Khalid ban, right? Ooga Booga has known to be using the Sandman quite a bit in the roam position, and being able to just take that off the board means Montgomery feels like they have the confidence to just target ban because they're not really worried about anything else. Now, the side of Nova, they really have to draft well, and I do think they're going to be able to draft that last roam position in, you know, the last pick, and I think that's going to be an advantage towards Nova. They really need to find a roam that can, you know, control the game a little bit better, because quite honestly, the Diggy was just a little bit too much to handle. But no, they're picking up this Chow once again. I would not be surprised if Let Me Roam decides to go for that Diggy route, but instead he goes for the Minoan's Fury, and that's going to be quite good against the AoE sustain coming out from Boca. And you also do see Mikasa picking up this last R-Lot here.
And this is what we're going to call painting that perfect picture, right? Ooga Booga on the Cho. We've seen him when they were going up against Texas A&M, rotating around to the gold lane and providing that setup for Kazuhaya to be able to get that kill, especially with the way of the Dragon on this Cho. And it looks like that may be the game plan yet again. Montgomery definitely having to pay attention and keep R in the gold lane profiting, right? Which means it's going to require Let Me Roam Please on this Minotaur, maybe potentially babysitting him or forcing him to play a little bit safer. This Ooga Booga is definitely going to go for those solo knockups with the way of the Dragon, the setups for Kazuhaya to kind of dominate in that gold lane. And one more pick on the way, it may be that Terizla. I'm not too against it, right? He can definitely use that execution strike to be able to get some of that CC immunity and also the penalty zone, which can kind of make up for Ooga Booga being single target CC in the roam position.
Yeah, and you know, now they have the Terizla being up available. it provides a lot of the CC along with the Wave of the Dragon, right? It can target specific units and hold them in place to make sure that the 1-1 cannot be free hitting. The Valentina cannot be dashing in and out as they please. But we are going into the Land of Dawn right now. Once again, this is Montgomery College versus Nova, which is Northern Virginia Community College. Once again, this is provided by Oneplus and China Southern Airlines. These are two teams coming in, you know, two strong teams, and this is a best of 3 series. So we are going to be seeing if Nova is going to be able to come back into this game, or if Montgomery is going to take this into a 2-0 sweep here.
That's right. Get your seats up straight, buckle in as we are about to take flight with the China Southern Airlines into our second match of the regional finals. Who will be able to push forward? Are we going to go ahead and see Montgomery close this out and shut down Northern Virginia Community College with a 2-0 sweep? Or will we see Boca Roscoe and his team flip the narrative, change the script, and take us to a game number 3, which would be the first game 3 of today's series?
Yeah, and I do hope that we do get a game 3 up on the board, but you know, it depends on these teams. And I do feel like the side of Northern Virginia, they have the ability to do so. The Chow, we've seen Uga Buga on this hero from time to time again. He has a lot of impact with, especially with the Wave of the Dragon, and the ability to just be annoying and immune a lot of the CCs. But the side of Montgomery, they've been playing extremely perfectly. They haven't lost a single game here. And I feel like they're going to try their best to keep up the momentum. And, ooh, the Cabbage, actually, Easy Peasy is going to be the one that picks this one up this time around.
And not just Easy Peasy, Martis on Easy Peasy, which makes it even more scarier. Something I just noticed, though, when you're running the Martis and you have the Tariza, both of them have anti-CCs in their kit, which will make it very hard for that Minoan Fury to really lock in onto Northern Virginia Community College. And it's definitely going to have to be a battle of placement for that. Also, not to mention, when they have the 1-1, they don't really have anybody for the instant setup to keep anybody at bay. There's no suppression on the table, so R is definitely going to have to find those weakness points in due time. That's one of the struggles that we see when we see the 1-1. A lot of heroes or players pick them up, but then not able to get those weakness points to be able to proc that crossbow of Tang when needed. But the early game is going to kind of tell the tale for this story. We mentioned Uga Buga on the show, definitely going to be focusing it down on the bottom side when needed to get that knock up, and I can't wait to see where this goes. 2 minutes in, though, it's looking pretty solid for both sides as we are now in game 2 of the regional finals.
Yeah, a little bit of a small advantage already from Easy Peasy, already level 5 compared to the level 4 of the Barats here. And you can see the team sieging onto this objective. Easy Peasy should have a slightly better time in terms of retributing, but it honestly still comes down to who can hit the spells. But Tempest is going to be one that opens the fight.
Ooh, early penalty zone, though. Drama is going to hit the retribution, is going to claim the turtle for Montgomery College. One objective in their hands and a kill on top of that as Mikasa shuts down Easy Peasy, drawing first blood.
Yeah, and the first blood does come through for the side of Montgomery College along with the neutral objective there. And you can see already the K-Drama Addict trying to get a little bit more into his wallet right there, denying a small camp away from the side of Northern Virginia, but it doesn't really, you know, make a difference here and there. They have that advantage and they have been doing so extremely well in this tournament. But for the side of Northern Virginia, they do have a lot available to kind of turn things around, right? The Wave of the Dragon, the Cold Altar, the Nether Realm, and also, you know, Martis on Easy Peasy, he's been doing so well, especially with the Demonic Forest, to be able to reset time after time after time. And, you know, this is something that Montgomery College has to deal with. The undying fear of, you know, Northern Virginia Community College to be able to kind of turn things around. And they are an NACT team. These guys have been there and done that, played a lot of the hard matches compared to Montgomery College, where I would say some of their members lack a little bit of experience. So definitely nice to see a new rise in the meta here.
We're going to rise in the meta, a rise from the bush, the 3-man setup for Montgomery College. Uga Buga able to get out of there with the G-Kundo just in time, showcasing the mobility of the Cho and what it provides. But speaking of Uga Buga, let's just kind of break down what we've seen in the first engagement on that turtle, right? He decided to go help the team to try and fight it off, and they were not able to claim it. It could have been better off if he would have possibly went down to the gold lane and tried to get the setup onto R and try to win from that trade. But speaking of trades, there goes Easy Peasy finding Drama. It looks like the way the Dragon did connect to kick him into the turret. So great assist over there from Uga Buga. Able to get that, but the penalty zone from the push. Big play from Tempest. Easy peasy, able to take down Let Me Roam. That is going to be 2-1 on the scoreboard. In terms of kills, Northern Virginia Community College now leading the way and may be able to claim a turtle for the one that they lost.
It's actually a really big misplay coming out from Montgomery because the Barats really did not have to be under the tower. It's a gold plate tower. He's not going to be able to push it. He can get like 1 or 2 hits in, but he didn't even get 1 or 2 hits. He got dragged in by the fair miss, and then the Chow came with the Jeet Kune Do, was able to use the Way of the Dragon to push him back into the tower. And then the buy one, get one free coming out from Reckless. He did end up jumping forward to get a 3-man knockup, but he did not commit into the team fight because the side of Montgomery just did not have damage yet. But maybe bot side here, they're going to look to maybe use the crossbow tank, but I don't think it's going to be doing that much damage here.
Yeah, not going to deal that much damage. It's going to be a little bit of wasted utility on top of that. Sometimes it's best not to even use it if you're not going to be able to profit on it. But speaking of profiting, some of the items being picked up, Dominance Ice has been slotted in from Templess. Possible answer, especially for the anti-heal, when you're looking at the Minoan Fury, when you're looking at the Minotaur going in the heal on the team, definitely can be a possible answer. But I will say 2-1 so far. It's anybody's match.
Yep.
You are seeing Ooga Booga, though, trying to rotate around, trying to find the openers for their team to engage on. And I think that's where it's going to start. They need to focus on the gold lane. Shut down R. You know he's playing on the 1-1. You know he's going to be aggressive. If you can get him with the crossbow, or you get him with the Way of the Dragon and provide that kill, it may be what they need to kind of take the aggressive stance and lead the way in the early game.
Yep, and it's quite interesting that even with a 1k disadvantage for the side of Montgomery, they're the ones that are still pushing the tempo. They're the ones that's clearing mid, sieging and grouping up onto the mid side. Versus on the other hand, Northern Virginia, they're kind of playing a little bit more defensive and reactive here. They're letting Montgomery College kind of take control of majority of the river. They're hiding in bushes away from them and kind of going away and just farming for that late game. They have the lead, but the lead is just going to be diminished time after time. And the later this game goes, when everyone starts building onto that full item, the lead is just going to be smaller and smaller. But you know, at the same time, Northern Virginia, they have the lead. I still think that's going to be quite good. They have to figure out a convincing way to win some of these team fights.
And this is going to be, so far, a low-kill game, but hold on. Go away activated. Big knock-up. Let Me Roam is going to find Kazuhaya. Easy peasy is going to respond, taking him down. But hey, he got what he came for. He found the gold lane. A roam for a gold lane, I would take that trade any day of the week. And speaking of trades, Drama is going to go ahead and find the turtle to top that off. 1 objective down for Montgomery College.
1 objective down and another kill. The gold lead is still not exactly in their favor, but it's definitely has been completely neutralized here. And that's scary for the side of Nova, right? They have to kind of pry on the downfall of Montgomery making mistakes, and without those mistakes, it feels like Montgomery College has been such a stable team. They don't really they don't really lose the early game advantages. They get these objectives contested or uncontested, and you know, it's quite nice. And wow, look at the members, an early game siege. This is what I call kind of like the A77 timing, the 7-minute 5-man at mid side, but on the other hand, top.
Yeah, you are looking at Templess very low. The oil may be able to catch him. Drama trying to close distance, but now hit the Way of the Dragon. A punish, a penalty zone from Templess to try and get that kill. 4-2 so far, and Sayoi trying to save him. Falls as well. Double kill for Easy Peasy with the decimation. R, though, 1v1 matchup on the bottom side does pick off Kazuhaya. The gold lane does fall. That's definitely not what you want to happen, especially when your team had such a huge lead on the opposing side, and that would kind of balance the scales.
Yeah, it did balance a little bit the scales, but if you take a look at some of the gold lead, it still feels like the side of Nova has the advantage as they look to siege on to this mid tower. I don't think they're going to be able to grab it, but on the other hand, the trade coming out from Montgomery, they're able to take onto that bot side, and that's going to be quite huge. The 1-1 winning in lane, being one of those heroes that gets banned out consistently over the tournaments, and now being completely let open. But Ooga Booga coming in for the chase, looking to see if he can set up for a Way of the Dragon, but seems like he's the one that's going to be getting hit onto 50% HP, going to back to base now.
Yeah, and you know, it's a little unfortunate and how the way it's playing out for Ooga Booga. We expected him to be a little bit more in the gold lane for those initial setups, and with him not being there, Art was pretty much able to bully Kazuhaya in the 1v1 matchup, and that gave him a little bit of the lead he needs. And now you're going to start seeing the 1-1 be more comfortable rotating around the map, especially with that lane being opened up. I mean, you see Rs all over the place now going toward the top side. They're definitely going to swap the XP lane, and this is going to open up the advantage now for a crossbow Tang to be in the Lord play.
Yeah, and with the setups of that Minnow Winone first skill along with the Minone's Fury, that's definitely going to set up correctly for that 1-1 to be able to get the marks that he's needed. And right here, Montgomery College pulling out the objective, playing it extremely slow. Even if they feel like they have a lead in the team fight, the gold lead is still relatively close, but the conceal play coming through, I feel like. Oh, 3-man set.
Just catch him. The triple stun from Mikasa. A great play. Final slash goes in. Mikasa not done. Finds Kazuhaya. Another round being activated. The silence going down. Ooga Booga very low. Tries to get out of there. Very low HP. About a quarter of health. You are looking at Easy Peasy rushing in. The stun on the way in R. Takes down Templess. Gets a double. Takes down Ooga Booga. Easy Peasy with a monster kill. Is going to find one of his own as R shuts down Easy Peasy for the triple. Leaving only Bocarasco by himself in the mid lane, and the siege for the tier 2 turret on the way from Montgomery College. Trying to close this out with a sweep. Trying to claim the regional champion titleship. And the question is, can they pull it off? Look at Kazuhaya, look at Bocarasco, now both in position to contest them from opening up these inhibitor turrets. But again, we said it once, we said it twice. I don't think we can say it a third time. Pay attention to R. They're letting him get online. He's getting the looks that he needs. And with that being said, it's going to be an easy wipeout with these crossbow tanks. I mean, he's already sitting at almost 9,000 gold.
And we have to honestly tell you guys that this is a first pick 1-1, right? So the side of Northern Virginia College, they can decide how to deal with the 1-1 since it was picked so extremely early. But instead, they're backed up into a corner with the 4-0-1-1, the crossbow tank immuning a lot of CC and dealing a lot of the damages. And they just don't have an answer yet so far. Maybe the Chow just is not good enough, but maybe they could get the Melissa to do something. But a 2v1.
Yeah, 2v1, but he is holding his own. Kazuhaya taking some serious damage, forcing out the way of the dragon from Ooga Booga. Sayoe cleaning up the missing pieces, though. You're going to shut down Kazuhaya. R is going to claim a turret on the opposite side, though. You are looking at the siege in the mid lane with the Lord intact. Looks like they are going to possibly open up these inhibitors as they take the tier 2 on the bottom side.
Yeah, and look at R still dealing so much damage, but Ooga Booga does not have the way of dragon available, so it's not able to kind of deny K-Drama Addict. And now 6 to 9, 11 minutes in, they are inside the base, barely holding on as Nova tried to use it, but
forced out the Nether Realm as well from Bocarasco, and he falls, which means they don't have the ultimate. And now Sayoe using the Nether Realm from him with the IMU from the Valentina to keep Montgomery alive. They are seizing the opportunity. You only got one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow this opportunity. Montgomery trying to close this out, trying to be the regional champions. A monster kills R, takes down Kazuhaya. 2 members falling for Northern Virginia Community College. Mikasa finding Ooga Booga, make that 3. Full 5-man team on the rush to try and close this out. It's 2-0 sweep. Crossbow tank activated. R, Godlike takes down Templess. Double kill as Mikasa shuts another down. And Montgomery has done it. They have claimed victorious as the champions for the regional title. Congratulations and some flawless gameplay.
Yeah, a complete sweep. They did not lose a single game in their division, right? 15-6 is going to be the overall score. 12 minutes in. R this time is the one that's going to be taking the MVP. 7-0 and 6. Mikasa also played an extremely perfect game, but it honestly feels like the mid and the jungle of Montgomery has been the strong backbone of every single early game. They're able to get the advantage there, and for this time around, yes, they did lose about a 2k gold lead from the side of Northern Virginia, but they were able to still deal with a lot of the team fights, rotating aggressively, standing near the river at all times. And congratulations to Montgomery College. But before then, we're gonna take a look at some of the statistics.
Yeah, looking at the statistics, the bread with the butter. And you are going to see R over their team fight participation, 87%. But look at his turret damage, 65%. Just all over the place. He was about to rev up with that damage, hero damage as well. He's at 31%, leading the way for Montgomery College. The man was just on fire, and it all started from that 1v1 matchup. Kazuhaya, a little bit of a misplay, and fell in that situation, opening up the opportunity for R to take that first turret. And from there, that's all she wrote. You just started seeing him climb on objective over objective until they overall won with the victory.
Yeah, and congratulations to Montgomery College once again. This is the MLBB X AES campus tournament. We have come to a conclusion for the East Side Division. Once again, we are sponsored by the China Southern Airlines. If you guys are looking for tickets, make sure to go check out their website, www.cs Visit CSCS Air, csair.com/US, and also make sure to attend the OnePlus event. It is going to be on January 27th, 9 a.m. for the people on the East Coast. Make sure to grab your OnePlus device and an airline ticket. Guys, this is the conclusion of the Eastside tournament. Weezy, got any last words?
It's been a pleasure. Shout out to UA for hosting this amazing event, and shout out to all the teams fighting their hearts out. I mean, this was only the East regionals, right? So I can't wait to see. The West is still on the way.
Yep. It's coming
and I
next
can't
week.
wait to see where that goes, and I'll definitely hope to be lucky enough to cast it alongside you. But nonetheless, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Everybody supporting the Mobile Legends Bang Bang North American community. It's all about you guys, and you also are what makes this happen. So UA, thank you so much, and I can't wait to cast with you on the next one.
Of course, guys, hit the like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.